Welcome to another episode of Reseller Evolution. My name's Scott.
I'm Carl.
I'm Carl.
Hey, everyone. We're not dead.
Carl.
We're back.
Doom and gloom, buddy.
Yeah, doom and gloom. No, we're still here. We're still alive.
Still here.
We had to take a week off, but we're back.
Yeah, I just had some family. Well, a close family member passed away, so kind of dealing with that unexpectedly. And I was late on the other one, just being busy and stuff. And then it got kind of outdated in my mind. And so I just thought, you know what, we'll just start fresh today. We'll add the comments because we did talk about the comments and stuff in 2 weeks ago. But you come up with a different idea on that one, Carl. What's your idea?
Just add it to the end of this one. Who cares?
So we'll do this show and then we'll add last week's show. So this will be a Randy show. It'll be 2 + 2.
Right.
As Harry would say, 2 and 2.
2 and 2. Yeah. So if you're really bored and you need to sleep, well, we got another one attached to the end of this one.
We'll just attach it.
Yeah.
Carl's like, well, let's not waste it.
Yeah, I don't want to waste it. I spent all that time sitting here in my basement recording it. We're going to use it.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't even remember what we talked about.
Oh, neither do I. It doesn't really matter. We say the same thing every week, right?
I can assume what we talked about, which was the end of the de minimis, the end of eBay, the end of the world.
And I said, how could it get worse?
The strike.
And then nope. Then it got worse.
And then it got worse.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not doom and gloom. I'm not doom and gloom. I guess I sound doom and gloom. I guess my goal or what I wanted to achieve is doom and gloom. I mean, there's pivoting, there's all that other kind of stuff, but
pivot this.
But yeah, so I mean, when one door closes, another door opens, right?
Yeah, well, yes.
But I'll still do eBay, and I'm still going to do the booth for sure.
Yeah,
and we'll see. I'm heavily leaning towards going back and getting a 9 to 5 job or a 10-hour a day job or 12-hour a day job or whatever.
Yeah.
That's likely the route, and then go back and do this part-time. I also have another little hobby that I picked up along the way. But maybe I'll get into that another day.
Okay.
Nothing like, letting the audience wonder, what is he talking about?
I hate that.
It's a cliffhanger.
God damn, I hate that stuff. But Scott, you do you.
Oh, well, should I mention it, Carl? Should I talk about it briefly?
Go ahead.
I won't get into it too much detail, but I'll start with this. When my son was 13, we started. He was doing films younger, but we started doing films. I've talked about this before, so I can start from here. So we would write scripts, and then we would get some of his people that he would act with, like they did stage acting and stuff like that. He would get those actors to be part of his film, and then we'd throw them into film festivals. We did that for 5 or 6 years till he went to university, and then we did one during university, and then he never finished his last year because of the pandemic. So, backtracking, we still had some stories in kind of full written form, but they weren't full scripts. But the one I really, really wanted to do, I really liked, I decided to make it into a book, and I'm using ChatGPT and Grok to help me out with that, like to format it properly.
Yeah.
And it's coming along quite well. And it's horror, sci-fi genre.
Yeah.
So I won't get too much detail other than that. But once it's on Amazon, I may bring it up again.
If you should. I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
You gotta link it.
Got a cover, title page, a back cover, at least the rough draft. It's probably the third draft I'm going through right now, which will be a final draft. I just want to get it to a certain number of words, and then I'll I'll have it edited by a friend, and
Yeah.
then hopefully that'll be getting close to being completed. But
Nice.
I mean, there was a couple 3 a.m. I think the last time we talked, I was talking about being up to 3 a.m. Didn't I say that, Carl?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, there's nothing like things happening in world that you don't want to think about to get you energy to do other things.
Yeah, that's right. Gee, if I listen, if I was reselling and I had to list or clean items and I was writing books, I would have had 20 books written a week. You know what I mean? Anything to get
Exactly.
me away from the listing.
Exactly. It's
But
always that way. You just have to find something worse than listing and then it makes you list.
yeah.
But be careful what you wish for.
But anyway, maybe it's a door that's opening. It'll be something that I can do as well, because
Yeah.
I'm actually finding that I enjoyed it. I mean, the script process was fun, but that's really the only form I knew how to write was a script.
Yeah.
And a traditional novel trying to get 40, 50, 60,000 words is a lot different than a script, right? Which so so anyway,
Sweet.
that's what it is. I won't
Okay. Well, keep us updated. Well, I'm sure you'll give us updates once you've come a little further along and ready to go. And
Yeah, I don't know. I bet you it'll be completed. It should be completed by the end of October for sure.
Yeah.
That means on Amazon is my guess.
Cool.
Like it's pretty much completed, but then I have to rely on a couple people to get it finalized, and I think there's a few things, copyrighted is one, but that shouldn't take long from what I'm seeing, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay. Okay.
But what's new with you?
Well, I got a root canal. That was fun.
Oh wow, could
That
write
was
a whole
Sunday.
book on the pain.
Oh my god, I've gone. My teeth are being like falling out and just dying one by one. So unfortunately, I already had experience of a Sunday night root canal when all the dentists places are closed. So at the market, I'm like, I've been through this. Like at the market, my tooth was hurting, and I've been down this road before. That if you ignore it, you won't sleep that night because you'll be in so much pain. So that was fun. So I did that. Yeah.
Nice. Well,
Um,
you know what? Martin Scorsese, when he was, I think it was Martin Scorsese, when he was in college or university, he was doing his film school. He wrote a short film called The Shave. Have you ever seen it?
no.
Because you could write one called The Tooth.
Ugh. Well, I'd have to know the story, I guess, but yes. So
Go
yeah.
go watch it. It's on YouTube. Just write Martin Scorsese's The Shave, and you'll see it. It's like I don't know, like a 2-minute short.
Anywho, yeah.
But
So that was the booth.
you could do that the tooth, Carl. The
Yes.
pain,
Oh man. Everyone who's had an emergency root canal knows how much fun it is. Anyways, I didn't mean to talk about it too much, but
that's fine.
the booth seemed fine. I would say like the last few weeks have been slower in sales, but rearranging things, it makes such a big difference when you move things around and trying to bring in more inventory. So recording, I think I mentioned this before, but recording how much I brought in for eBay, I'm still shut down because I still want to make my life easy, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I did ship out some stuff that got trapped, but like even then the costs for eBay for Canada Post were a lot higher. So I'm not sure what was up with that.
Well, I had a couple sales on. I took to I shipped out Monday, and UPS was actually very reasonable.
Oh,
like
good.
like $11-12.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I never seen it that cheap. But usually
Never
I don't.
seen it that, and
No.
all three parcels were in that. So I double checked. I'm like, holy shit! What did I thought I entered something wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was even possible. Like, I thought the
No,
lowest they do is like $17 or something.
I've
like
never seen that offered that low.
So I can even tell you what I paid. I sold a Canadian Tire program from the 1968-69, $40. But what did I pay for shipping, and where did it go? So it went to Well, let me just tell you what I paid for shipping first. $12.96. And it went to where am I going to see? Oh, there it is. Alberta. Right? So, what else did I sold? A military cap. It's a World War One, but it's not a helmet, it's a cap. It folded. So, how can I explain it? It's almost like maybe the thickness of a couple socks or something. That's that kind of size. That one went to Ottawa, and the shipping label was $11.41.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then there was a toy soldier. I can tell you that one if you want. $11.55, and that went to Toronto.
Okay, well that sounds really good. Maybe I should look into it again. And UPS is actually technically closer to me than Canada Post is. I just got nervous like after hearing like Chris from Chris's Treasure Chest, and from I think it happened to Jamie too, where they got huge UPS bills.
It also happened to the guy Golden State Picker.
Oh, it happened to him too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was really nasty.
Yeah, $1,600 or something.
Well, I don't even want to. Do they hire a plane to ship his stuff?
I don't know what it was. They took it out of his account too. He was like,
I know. Right. It's been pretty sad though. With eBay's been taking the money from me for like my monthly store, and then my packing. It's like $60, $25. I can't even sell on there. I'm going the wrong direction.
Hey, dude. They got to survive. They got to eat. They got to eat.
And
but, I also had a 6-figure sale of toy soldiers that went out on October 1st.
How many figures?
6 for. Let me just.
I think you said 6 figures. Like what?
You said six. Like toy figures. Soldiers.
Yeah, I'm a little slow.
$428.
Oh wow.
So he ordered 22.
Oh yeah.
And he wants to spread them out. So I took the remaining, I ended them, and then he wanted to buy them every other Wednesday. So he'll tell me which ones he wants next. So we'll do 6, 5, 6, 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, of course. Nobody else is buying them. Make this guy happy.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like a couple of them are on horses. They're over $100. Like one I think I had 100. I give them a discount on them. 15% off on let me just see. So I had one listed for $145 minus 15% on that. So and then there's more. So he's probably, let's just, I don't know, $400, $800, $1,500 he's gonna order,
Yeah.
And he bought many off me in the past, so he's a good buyer to begin with. So
no need to block him.
No, not at this point. So far, so good. Yeah, I got to go back and unblock all those. Just...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Like maybe I'll turn my store back on. I was kind of like, I'm sure eBay's not very happy with eBay Canada's not very happy because they're also kind of like it's not their fault with all this stuff happening. Every time they try to fix something, it breaks even more. Because like eBay Canada is supposed to have its international shipping program this month, but I'm sure. Who knows how much the Canada Post has put their things in array too. I haven't heard any more. Like I know it's come. Like for me, when someone says it's coming out like in a month, it really means October 31st. But we don't.
Yeah,
know for sure.
That was one thing I was going to ask you if you heard anything about that because
no.
My understanding is that they're just going to put you in there and you can opt out.
Yeah.
But I would assume that they would give me a message that I'm in or it's available. I don't know.
Well, they're having messages, emails. I'm not going to pay attention until it's actually in effect.
Like, I don't know why you would opt out. Like, you're still shipping it to Canada, and then they're taking care of it after that. Like
you
it's
don't
not like I have to open up to all these countries, right? I just
no, but
you
there's
just
a reason. There's a reason to opt out.
okay.
So traditionally, it's a lot cheaper to do the shipping yourself to those countries than international shipping program would charge the customer. That's the difference. But if you're not going to do it, then it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah. Okay. I guess I get that.
Yeah.
I myself was only shipping Canada and US, and the US becomes such a headache now that I don't even want to deal with that. I'll just let them deal with it.
Yeah, and that's actually like we're both a perfect example because like forget about what's going on in the United States for a second, but before I would just ship to Canada and United States, right? And
Right.
actually UK for small packages.
You
And now
almost went
with
one
this
step further.
EIS program, you can actually ship to France, Germany, wherever without even doing any more work.
Right.
That's what it's really good for. So,
But you're thinking that the high cost is going to lessen the chance of those sales.
yeah, like if you're to ship directly to France yourself and not use EIS, it would be cheaper for the buyer. So if you're already set up to do that, then you would opt out of France, for example. But for us, I can't be bothered either direction. Like if I start selling through the EIS program and like a lot of stuff is going to France or something, maybe I'll look into how to do it myself to save the customer money and get more sales, right? But I'll wait until things are moving, so to speak. But the hard part is like for me for buying, I'm still buying like everything is hunky dory. And so my pile up of stuff is getting worse and worse as I can't even pretend I'm going to list it. Or I could list it, I guess. I could draft it, but
well, I had 3 yard sales.
Yeah. You had them or went to them?
I had them.
Okay.
I believe I talked about 2 of them last time, or no, I guess I probably didn't. Oh.
You talked to me about them, but the audience might not know.
So I had a yard sale and I just put up a couple signs.
Yeah.
And we didn't advertise it online or anything. Put a couple sales. And no surprise there. We only had 10 people show up. And 2 of the guys that showed up were pickers who knew other pickers, so they messaged them because they thought the stuff I had was really good for what they wanted. So anyway, out of those 10 people that showed up, made about $500. Stuff was still aside. I was clearing out my last little bit of a storage unit. Things were getting packed in here, so that's why we decided to do the yard sale. And so we advertised the second week, and we had tons of people show up.
Yeah.
And I did just over $1,500.
Crazy.
And then there was a lot of stuff out there still. And my cousin had passed away that week and stuff. So I was busy doing that. I really didn't bring any more stuff out there because I was going down to Simcoe almost every day because of it. Like they're close family, right? So we were just hanging out and stuff for the whole week pretty much. But I would take the opportunity down there to finish clearing out the storage unit too, right?
Yeah.
So that's done. But by the way, but I didn't really have a chance to set up the way I wanted to. But I already had stuff out. I kept looking at the weather. It was nice all week, so I just left it out in the backyard. And the stuff that was on the front yard, we just piled back in the garage. And this time, basically, because a lot of it was in boxes, the big weekend.
Yeah.
So this time we pretty much just had the same stuff out there, maybe a few additions, but for the most part, the same stuff. And we just moved out of the box onto a table or the ground or whatever. And $380.
Yep.
And then I took a lot of the stuff to the thrift store that was left over. Some of it I put back in the garage, but I got a good chunk. I accomplished what I wanted to do, and that was not have this place filled up and unmanageable. So I still kept it managed. There's a couple guys coming back. One guy's interested in buying the video game stuff. I have to set it out. I said I don't have a price in mind, but I got lots. So maybe I'll keep a few games for the booth, a few systems for the booth, but for the most part, I might give them a lump sale and just get rid of that. And another guy is really interested in the car parts. He had a box of tools, and I had to apologize. I said, "Bud," I said, I apologize. I said that box isn't supposed to be out here. I said, I buy and I resell, and I said I haven't even gone through it, and I said I know where I bought this, and he was into cars and tools, and I said there could be a tool in there worth $100, and I just don't want to give it away for $1. That's not what I do, you know. Yeah. And he goes, no, that's fine. He goes, what kind of car parts do you have? So I took him to the shed, and it's packed right for the wall, right? Like you can't even sit a foot in there, right? He goes, oh, and I said, yeah, I bought 3 large ones at an auction. And I said, I didn't know everything in there. I said, this is, so he just kind of peeked into a couple boxes. He goes, I'll definitely be back. He goes, we're going on a trip for a couple weeks, but he goes, I see parts in there that I'd really be interested in. And it didn't seem like, I mean, obviously if it's worth $10, I can't charge $100. But what I'm saying is he seemed not to really care about the cost. Like he's willing to pay the retail or, I said I don't need retail out of this, but I don't want to sell something that's worth $100 for $1.
Yeah.
So, so he wants to come back to that. So, yeah. So I thought it was pretty successful, and there's still more chance, like opportunity to sell more stuff. And the car part stuff, I think I'd be really happy to let it go, even 50% off retail, because I don't have to put it in the booth. I don't have to look it up. The booth really doesn't represent the car parts.
Yeah.
So I would probably have to put them online. And second of all, there's no commission or anything to worry about from that. So,
yeah.
So we'll see. But, I mean, dude, the Hesnet or Hezit tools, like that was a huge, there was Hezit tools and there was a book I sold for $350.
Crazy.
Right? Just a book on the tools from the 1940s, but you know, it's German tool if you want to look it up, anyone. But
I remember we talked about that one. Yeah, that's
so I felt bad. I felt like I'm pulling what Carl gets hit with every week, but
give me that back. You paid your last.
I'm like, I apologize, bud, but I just can't. That's not supposed to be out here.
Yeah,
but. You know what? I the probably one of the best parts of it was meeting pickers from the area.
I was going to say, now you made lots of new contacts.
Yeah. So I have lots of friends now here. Yeah. Right. So it's really it's really interesting how where I come from, there's that group that, you know.
Oh, it's the same with me. Like,
and there's a group here. So
people think resellers are all standoffish, but they actually can be really friendly.
Yeah.
Once they get to know you. Like I talk to other people for the market every single day, either through texting or messages on Facebook or wherever. And then of course all weekends, right? It's a friendly group. It's not, some people might be standoffish until they get to know you.
Yep.
But once they know you're not a total ass, then they can be really friendly. So, no, it's good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah. So that's kind of been the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so
I did pick up a big. So I haven't been doing garage sales at all.
Yeah.
Basically, I just go to Value Village. I might pick up things at the market, but not nearly as much as it once was. I checked Facebook Marketplace, and actually I did a big buy just a couple of days ago of heavy metal magazines.
Okay.
And they're vintage. Most of them are vintage from like late, 79 to 80, 81, 82. So I think I paid about $2 a magazine. So I got like over 100 of those, plus a poster that sells for $20 or $30 by itself. And then I got a whole bunch of like, because I was there, right? They have these other magazines, these French French magazines, and they're pretty risque. They don't care like we do. So I bought a bunch of those. We'll see how those go. Like, what is it? I couldn't find any comps. I think I paid like 60 cents or 50 cents a magazine. What's it called? No, Circus. I didn't see money comps. I'm just gonna put them for like $4 or $5 in the booth
Oh, okay.
and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Even I got these history magazines too that I kind of grabbed because they said, well, if you pick both of these, two magazine lots up at the same time, we'll give you a deal, but you have to pick up both. But even the historical ones are pretty risque. I guess they know how to get kids to read the magazines, eh? It's like, here's some history and here's some smut. But
and after reading the book, they still don't know history.
I know. They just go to the good parts. But the heavy metal magazines are just up my alley. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll read them.
The artwork, eh?
It's the artwork. It's all about the articles and the artwork. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the art. I do appreciate that stuff. I like that stuff. So I told them when I was buying, I said, I'm a reseller because I always tell everyone that. And I said, but this stuff I'll read first. And I went to Hull to get them. And the funny thing is, they're like, yeah, this was just where you live like a week ago, except we just all moved it here. So going back home, which is kind of funny. I think there's a lot. Like, I don't usually look at Facebook Marketplace because it's always flaky. This was the perfect transaction. I contacted them. They were there when I got there. The items were as described. They didn't ghost me. I gave them the money. They gave me the items. And we were both happy. We're both like, oh, thank God. Because it's so flaky with Facebook. Like, that's an amazing transaction when that happens. Here's my money. Give me my stuff. What a concept, eh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I gave them my business cards. It's funny, for my website, I can see not who hits it, but I can see where in the world it gets hit. Like the website Carl buys. And the funniest thing happened last week is there's like, usually I might get one if I'm lucky, or 2 hits a day, and that's it. It's more like 1, which is fine because I'm not really advertising it. Like, you'd have to kind of use my card to know it exists.
Yeah.
But last week I had 30 or 40 views all in one day. They must have been bots or something, but it was such a huge spike. But I've been hit by like, what was it? Israel, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, France. It's like all these weird hits from around the world, but I think they're bots. It's just kind of interesting for me, anyways.
And what's the title? Like, what would?
Well, it's carlbuys.com is the URL, but
Carl's Buys. So if you typed in Carl's
Buys.com, you would get it.
Carl Buys. Okay. Does anything else pop up?
Not if you go directly to the URL.
No, but if you just put Carl Buys
in Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. But
I wonder if there's like,
these were definitely bots.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing happened.
But I mean, that's still pretty random for bots, like to be spread out like that, or is that how bots work? Like, you think you would be getting hit if you're getting hit by bots? You would be like rapid fire hits, right?
Most of them were in the United States for that, but I can't even look anymore. So, anyways, it was just funny. So I got 1,000 magazines upstairs now. I got to go through. The heavy metal ones can be pretty good though. Like the earlier ones, like they have key issues. Like and I mean good, like $15-$20.
Yeah.
The average one is like $10 or so, which is fine when you're paying it. Like $2 is fine. They'll all go. They're already in boxes.
Well, how many did you get in total?
It was over 100.
So like you could lump them up. Do they are they weekly issues or monthly?
Monthly.
Monthly. So you might be able to put years together.
I could do that.
Right. And there's $120 for a group.
If people do that on eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could do that.
Because the shipping of 2 is probably the same as 10 or 12, right?
Yeah. Well, this, ironically, I was thinking just putting in the booth because there's less work.
Yeah, if I was to put them in the booth, I'd probably do individually. But I think if I was to put them online, I'd put them in groups of like for the a complete, 1975 complete, or like the whole year, right?
Yeah, no, actually, that's a good point. I didn't really think of that. So I wonder how much they sell. Like, let's see, let's just do a quick one. Heavy Metal magazine, and I'm gonna do 1980 because that's I know I had that run. Let's just see. Curiosity. Someone got a well. It's hard to tell with best offer, but someone got. Oh, that's not a run. I don't know. $40.
For 12.
The problem is like with best offer, it gives you a really hard. It can be really hard to tell how much they actually got.
And are you looking at US or Canadian dollars?
I'm looking at Canadian.
Okay.
So someone got $268 for 100 for 12 issues for 1980 to 81. So that's not even a proper run. So $270 Canadian, and I paid, I guess, $20 for that, or no, $24 for that run.
Just make sure like there wasn't like a poster that was supposed to be in it.
There is key issues, especially from that time period.
Because if that poster is missing, that's going to be a big hit, right?
Well, I go, have you seen the Heavy Metal movie back from the day with the girl on top of the bird?
I would have seen it years ago, but I don't remember it completely. But I know the movie's there. Yes.
Anyway, so I got one of those posters with it. The poster sells for like the condition of mine is a little rough, so more like 20. But the other ones are like 30 to $40. If it's better, it would be even like this is the sort of thing. The magazines are also the sort of thing that people actually get graded, but none of they're in good condition, but they're not in that gradable condition, right? They're not perfect. So I was just happy to buy something too in big bulk, which I like, right? All at once.
For sure. But I mean, if you can get like $100 or 200, $150, sometimes the complete year might bring premium too, right? Especially if they got the posters or whatever. I'm just thinking out loud here, but it'd be interesting. But
it really depends, because like I see other lots here for 1980s and they only got $40, but there's no keys. So these magazines don't have keys, like in terms of like this hero first appearance, but it might be like an artist like Mobius probably brings in more money, I'm guessing, right? Or a famous cover might bring in more money. But either way, worst case scenario, I'm gonna bag them because they're not bagged. I might board them because I think they're worth enough to that, and then I just dump them in the booth in a corner. Or wherever.
I don't think you're going to lose on it. That's for sure. Like, I think
no, $2 each. No.
Yeah, I think you'll do well.
No.
But
I
think the art is crazy good.
I think it is too. But I think it's going to be it's not a high turnover item, and there's probably some of them will never move, right? But that's fine.
I don't know. I would definitely buy them, put them in the booth. I don't know. I probably have one or two magazines in a box. I remember seeing a couple of them, but I've never seen like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, these were like the person who collected them had boxes of runs, right? And they took care of them. They weren't just like they were in like magazine, those kind of binders for magazines.
Yeah.
Or not but paper kind of like holders for magazines. Anyways, so I got those. What else? That's most of it because I've been excited about that. But going to Value Village, and I found stuff that would be great, right? Like I got these like PlayStation thumbstick things for pretty well nothing, and they sell for $40 or $50 each. And I got like 4 of them, which would normally be pretty good. You spend $10 and it's worth $200. But I don't think they'll sell at the market, not for that amount. And that's a perfect eBay item, which we don't really have access to yet. I'm sure everyone's aware the Canada Post strike is still on. I was reading that there's like on average they're only 4 to 6 weeks. Well, they're usually 4 to 6 weeks for a Canada Post strike. I'm not going to bet anything, but I think you'll probably be over in at least a month, I would think. So get back into that. God damn it. It's like, it feels like every time we talk, it's like, it can't get worse. I shouldn't say that because now something else is going to happen. But
you don't honestly think it's going to be over in a month, do you?
a month, I think, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
Well, we'll find out, I guess. But
I think this one's going to be a long one.
yeah, maybe.
Like years.
Years. I think
it may never, you may never see Canada Post again.
You see Canada Post workers just wandering around, starved to death. They're trying to.
I think they might be bought out by UPS.
Oh, UPS. God. Anyways.
I'm totally kidding.
I know.
Yeah. Well, you know, but I don't know. The audience might say, Scott, what? Oh my God. There's a rumor. No. Who knows? I just, I mean, we've talked about it before, but, you've said it many times, but financially, they're not in good condition, right?
No, I would just like to say, I called this like a year ago, saying that, like, even if they get together and they agree to the strike proposal, it wouldn't fix anything because of the huge amounts of like losses they have.
Yeah,
and I would just like to say, I told you so. Not to you, Scott, but
that's all it was.
To the world. But the worst thing is, like, even with all the proposed changes, that would still only deal with a third of the huge losses. It's only like the first step of many steps that they need to do. That's the scary thing, but at least it's a move. Well, we'll see what happens, but it'll be a move in the right direction. There's been a lot of frustration, but it's just like, here we are in Q4 again, and here we go getting hit again, right? It's just like, it's you only laugh eventually, right? Or you cry, I guess. So
yeah, well, UPS has stepped up from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm amazed by those prices you're getting. Yeah,
it's still a sting, just not being able to sell to the US alone. So,
and letterpost is another one, right? You can't do postcards, for example, because it's just not practical.
Oh my God, Jamie with the hockey cards.
Sports. Oh, I haven't seen his latest video. So, or you just try in general.
He just popped in my mind when you said postcards, and I'm thinking, oh, Jamie does the sports card. What was the last video I saw? I don't know if he talked about the sports cards. He was selling the last one I saw. He had got back from his trip.
Yeah.
And he had a few sales for clothing.
That one I saw. And he said he sent a card through the post to an auction company in the United States without tracking.
Okay.
Which was a more expensive card. So, but hopefully it worked. I haven't heard.
This is Jamie Thrift on Fire. He's been on a couple times and was on a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and there was a potential that card actually got stuck in the mail.
Okay.
I'm not sure when he posted the video. He might have recorded a few days earlier, so maybe it got through. But
yeah, I haven't really watched a lot of YouTube. Driving back and forth, ironically enough, because I'm doing the book thing, I was listening to how to promote and do book things. Yeah. But I was just listening to it. I never actually, I don't know if I've sat down and watched anything recently. So YouTube wise, right? Like Steph and I will put a movie on or something, but I mean, I don't know if I've really sat down and watched too much YouTube lately.
I found a new guy I like watching. He's a little out there, but he really knows his stuff for jewelry and stuff like that. Let's see if I can get his name quickly.
Because when you're working and listing, you can have TV on the background, but when you're writing, you can't have any noise, right? Like you'll be distracted. And so I haven't really been watching the YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be trying to avoid news a little bit because it was getting me down. But
what are you talking about, Carl?
I know, right? Jason Adams. That's the name of the guy. He's a funny guy. but he really knows his stuff. He was doing vintage Halloween, and he's a guy who's passionate about collecting it and selling it. But he also just loves jewelry, which I find interesting because I don't know a lot about it. So if you want to learn, he's really good for that. I've been watching a lot of his stuff. But apart from that, I haven't been watching too much.
Okay.
So, what else has been going on? Not a hell of a lot. How's the booth sales? You didn't mention that.
Booth sales have been good. Saturday was decent. Sunday was brutal. And I don't know what was going on, but something must have been happening because Steph said the whole store was very quiet, which is unusual for a Sunday. So maybe there was something I don't know going on. I know we have some fairs and different things getting set up and going on, but that shouldn't have affected Sunday because the fairs that I'm thinking of started on Tuesday and they run for a week. But I mean, hey, it's going to happen once in a while, right? There's going to be a hiccup, but we'll see how the rest of the month goes. October is usually my best month. And,
it is.
Yeah. So, because I haven't been there for the last couple of weeks, I mean, if the whole store is closed or slow, then that's different. And that's what happened. Tomorrow, like I'm getting a bunch of stuff ready today. I'm going to jam it tomorrow, hopefully, and see how that goes. But it wasn't just me; it was the whole store. I had one sale that made my day, and that was a military helmet. So that kind of made the day okay. But if it wasn't for that sale, it would have been really bad.
Yeah,
you know. So anyway, so we'll see. The store has been hitting expectations all year long. It was just that Sunday, so that's really all I'm commenting about. So, it should be good. I did big change too. I don't know. I don't even know where we talked last. I'm out of sorts here, but I had 3 booths.
Yes,
I now have 2, but the reason is because the 2 booths upstairs were side by each. And I took out the wall.
Yeah.
So I made it into one big booth. I think I did a video on Instagram if anybody wants to see that. But so it's the same floor space, but it kind of opened it up and it makes more room, more sellable space.
Yeah.
So, I still got lots of space to put stuff and I got lots of stuff to take. So, we'll see how it goes going forward. I don't know. Sunday was kind of a blur, and I haven't been taking anything. I've been just busy. So,
yeah, you have had a lot going on, and
I could have not been writing, but kind of sometimes writing just kind of helps clear the brain a little bit too. I actually found it,
enjoyable.
You know what I mean? When everything else is crashing around you, you just get lost in a story, and it was actually quite fun. So.
Yeah, I get it.
So,
for me, my sales for each weekend have been, I'm probably averaging 200, which isn't really enough, but it is what it is. I was looking back to see what I sell the most of. It's LPs. LPs are I even sold some of mine this weekend and CDs, but LPs, jerseys, Smurfs, that sort of stuff is my top sellers. Thankfully, I have someone bringing me good LPs. That helps a lot too.
Yeah,
who's passionate. Like this weekend, this is Thanksgiving weekend coming up. I actually won't be there. Like the booth will actually be closed because I have a family.
This is Thanksgiving, yeah. So, okay, that makes sense. I was wondering, like our vendor day is usually mid-month, but we don't get vendor day till the end of the month, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? But we got 2 big fests. We got this weekend, we got Thanksgiving, and then after that we have Pumpkin Fest, which is our biggest weekend of the year. So that makes sense. That's why Thanksgiving. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, it's
I did forget about it. You reminded me.
Yeah. So Sunday I won't be there. So Sunday is going to be a loss. My friend John might go for me, but probably not.
Because you got family Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and it's early enough in the day. It's not worth me driving down and then
No.
having to turn around and come back.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's fine. But it'll be nice and quiet there for all the booth people around me because I'm pretty loud and I talk to people all day.
Oh, really?
I'm sure I get very annoying. Yeah. So it'll be nice and quiet.
You're one of those guys, Carl.
I'm that guy. Yeah, won't shut up. Can't keep the volume low and talks all 8 hours that I'm there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, actually, to me, it sounds like next week we'll have a lot more to say.
Why?
Because you can talk about Thanksgiving and I can talk about the long weekend sales.
Right. Well, hopefully. Maybe I should look back into the UPS thing.
Oh, definitely.
And also, it comes back to I also have to change up. I think I mentioned this before, but yeah, I think you need the manufacturing origin on your stuff, but I don't want to do it.
Well, I took all my stuff off and relisted a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then I shouldn't even say a lot of it. I relisted some of it, and then I started listing the toy soldiers, and I've been putting that down ever since. So everything I have listed, like that's available to buy, has all that information down.
So there's actually a couple of comments here. One of them is relevant to what you're just saying. So I went back, even though it's been a few weeks, looked at the last Spotify comments. There's one from here from Tatiana.
So hang on, I'm on YouTube here. Okay, yep.
She's saying Scott was in a dark place. So she's saying Scott is usually positive, but at that point things were looking bad and they actually got worse. So
it got worse. It got so bad I didn't even post 2 shows. We didn't even record one show.
Yeah, exactly. It just the bottom fell out and then it fell out again. Yeah. She says, just wanted to say that I have not made any changes to my eBay selling routine. I'm in Ontario and sell mostly rarish vintage items on ebay.com, but also newish crafting items made in China. The only difference that I've noticed is a slightly lower number of sales, down 7.1% this month, and a lower total dollar sales, down 23.8% this month so far. People will pay the tariffs if you let them. That's very interesting and hopeful.
Well, how do you calculate the tariffs? Because from what I understand, you have to pay the tariff before you ship it.
If you use the postal system.
Okay.
Or some cross-border shippers.
So she's probably got like Stallion or something like that, you think?
I can't
remember. I can't even get a label from eBay apparently. Like that's
no. So I think with Chit Chats, which is the same as Stallion, you pay in advance. But I haven't done it because there's a lot of paperwork, even more so than the normal export documents, and I just don't want to do it. But with UPS, I think they're still collecting at the door. But that's risky to me that they're going to be surprised, right? So, and if you're willing to do the work, I guess there's a lot less competition from other Canadian resellers.
Yeah, that's true.
And I guess the other thing too is like if you have rarish items, like she says, then maybe people will pay the tariffs because they don't have a choice. Otherwise, they don't get the item.
Well, one thing I'm surprised here too is number of sales down 7.1% this month. That's shockingly low. Like I would have assumed it would be down quite a bit more. So that's good.
Yeah.
And total number of dollar sales is down 23.8%.
That's also really good. It sounds bad, but it's really good because mine's
Yeah,
not 100%, but
because I'm just wondering, like my thought would be if it's rarish and like kind of expensive, people that were gonna buy it will buy it anyway because it's rare and they have the money,
yeah.
as
And also,
opposed to something that's cheaper. I'm guessing. I don't even know. I don't even want to guess because I don't even know. I'm just trying to figure this out in my head, but it's like some of the rare stuff that's expensive, those people don't care because they got money, right? But
and if it's American made, there should be no tariffs, right?
well, if it's American made, who knows, dude? I don't even know anymore. There shouldn't be.
No.
But you were saying that books are exempt or should be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they for sure exempt?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I was sure as well, and I asked ChatGPT, but then you said you might want to check that out. And then I think a week later you were saying that they were exempt. And I was just wondering, did you confirm that or?
Well, no, because Canada Post strike happened and then it didn't matter.
Okay. All right. Because I also understand that anything 100 years or older is exempt.
That one I didn't find.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay. I did find something about that.
Yeah.
But that was a lot more complicated.
Okay.
And so I never really went deeper into that.
It always is, Carl. It always is more complicated.
The thing with the books is it was simple. Is it a book? Yes or no? It didn't even matter whether they made the book.
Well, what if it was made of metal?
The book was made of metal?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What if it was made of gold?
Then give it to me.
I'm not kidding. Some books might be made of like a metal material.
Yeah, I guess. I'm talking about normal books, just a paperback book.
All paperback. Okay.
So, like that, or magazines too, right? Like, because that I do sell stuff like that, so it would have been okay.
Because I have lots of books, and
yeah.
I mean, they didn't sell quickly, but they definitely sold, and they were more expensive. I think everything was over $50, and some was like $200, $300, $400. So
yeah,
maybe I'll start relisting my books because they're just sitting in limbo right now. Like the books are still categorized in the inventory, but they're not live to buy online. So
yeah. I think the thing with antiques too is you had to prove it was over 100 years old. Like you had to have documentation. That's the other thing too. And with books you didn't. So I'm always about keeping it simple, right? Like,
so what I'll do is I'll just put a letter. This thing is authorized by me to represent anything over 100 years old.
Sure, you can do whatever you want. You could ship a VCR and say it's a book.
I could say it's a 100-year-old VCR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Found in King Tut's tomb.
Exactly. Oh man, you just remind me. Someone like stole one of the pieces from King Tut's tomb and melted it down. Damn it!
What?
Yeah, crazy. Okay,
there was do that.
I know, it's horrible.
It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't. So, there was another comment as well. Thank you, Tatiana. Do you want to read that one?
Noodle. I'm pretty sure this is going to be Fish Fanatic.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And Noodle came by the... I wasn't there that day, but he stopped by the booth by Waterford. Like, so he's up by Barrie area. So, it's quite a drive to come down. So I'm in St. Thomas now. So for me to drive over there, it just didn't work that day, but I wish I would have been there. So Noodle wrote, "Wow, I can't believe Scott with the doom and gloom." By the way, Noodle used to be a watcher of the Sunday show.
Yeah.
LOL, give it some time. Everything will balance out. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know if I want it. Like, sometimes, Carl, sometimes things, and tell me if you're this way too, but sometimes when you get hit so many times, like it just becomes not fun, and
Just don't get up.
it takes the passion out of it,
Oh hell yeah.
right?
Yeah. What's the point?
It's like hockey. I used to love watching hockey, but when they went on strike and it lingered on, it was one of those things. I never really went back to watching it.
Yeah.
I never returned to that. I gotta watch this. Your mind switches to something else, and then you kind of put that to the side. Where that was really important at one point. I kind of feel like
Makes
this
you
is
reflect.
that.
It makes
You
you
know what I mean?
reflect once
It's a
you're stopped.
grind.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But I did it because I had passion for it.
Yeah.
And you keep getting beat up with, uh, Canada Post on strike, and then this going on, and then Canada Post on strike again, and then you're losing, to commissions and promoted listings, and there's always something that keeps taking every time you give. They just keep taking more somewhere down the line,
Mm-hmm.
and it just gets to a point where like, no, I'm not having fun with this. Like,
Yeah.
could it come back, and do I enjoy it? Yes, I enjoy the picking for sure, but I don't know. It just does. Am I making sense? Like, it's still there,
yeah.
but it's not like it was. Like, I'm just kind of like, I
I've
don't
been-
know where it's going. I can't
Yeah.
keep my energy up for it because I don't know where it's going to go. And sure, it might balance itself out. And I agree, Nuno. You're probably right. It will eventually, but when? You know what I mean?
I've been asking ChatGPT what to do because I feel my passion has gone down a lot. It
Yeah.
hasn't disappeared. Don't get me wrong. It's always there. But it's been definitely a lot less. And this is even before the strike and the tariffs, right? It was down a bit. Things have been flow as well. But in this case, it's like I'm still buying, but what's the point? Like I mentioned, I bought those PlayStation thumbstick thingies, right? It's like I'm still buying it. I still get a little thrill, but now I don't have the other end to at least pay me back for what I'm paying,
Yeah.
It's like it's not about money, but it's also money is an incentive for me too. I still enjoy that. Like, hey, I bought something for $10, it's worth $100. I still get that. But now it's worth $10, and I bought it for $10, it's worth $100, but I can't sell it. It's not the same thing, right? It takes the wind out of your sails for sure. And then you're going, well, it also takes you out of not a stupor, but kind of like a routine. And then you kind of reflect back on, why am I doing this? But
and I've been thinking kind of outside the box. So I might have said this the last show, which is 2 weeks ago, that hasn't been posted. That's going to be posted after this. So I may be repeating what you're going to hear later on if you listen to that. But I remember saying this, that this was just after August 29th, the de minimis thing. And I was outside with the dog. And the grass was warm with the sun, and I'm out in the bare feet, and I'm just standing there, and I'm just like, kind of, just reflecting. And I remember thinking, like, there was a time when, I didn't like going to work, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week or something. But when I had a day off, everything was shut off, and I could just focus on here and me and Steph and the dogs, and,
yeah.
I wasn't bringing everything home, and I didn't feel like I have to do this, I can't do that. And I could schedule, and it was just a little more routine-ish, and I kind of thought, like, there was something to say positive about that ability, where here, it's always here. It's always around me. I come downstairs, it's here. Things need to be done. Things need to be pushed out. There's an auction coming up, so I need to make some room for that stuff, or all sorts of things. Or I got to clean this. I got to take it to the booth. It's 24/7 in your face. Now the nice part is you get to take a break, and you could go have a nap. You could go for a drive. You can go grab a coffee. You don't have to ask permission to go to the bathroom. All that kind of stuff. So that's something to be said. But Is it better? Well, sort of, because I'm enjoying it, but it's completely taking over my life.
It makes you rebalance things maybe a bit, right? Like if
Yeah,
you're saying, like for example, for me for Thanksgiving on Sunday when my booth is, I'm not going to the booth. I'm picking family first.
right.
If I went the other way, I'd say that'd be a problem because I don't need it more than the family stuff. So why am I making that choice, right? And sometimes you have, when you're forced to, you can kind of reflect of like, why am I running around for this, right? And like you said, when you have with reselling, there's always something you could be doing. And it's not like you run out of work that you could do. You could
No,
always be
I'm always busy. I'm always doing stuff.
right. You could always be trying to source stuff. You could always be doing advertising. You could always do listing stuff, right? It never goes away.
In fact, I would take it a step further, and it almost pulls you to say, "I need to be doing this,"
Yeah,
right?
or
And you
should.
get overwhelmed, and you sometimes you mentally shut down, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get that. And with a job, you don't have to worry about any of that because it's not like you're going to work on the plant at home.
yeah, yeah. But once you walk out the door, the day's done. You feel great. You go home and you can do your stuff. But
Yeah.
it sucks having to get up every day at the same time and do
Yeah,
shift work and all that. There's downfalls, but there's also positives, right? A steady paycheck that you know what's coming in. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
you can count on it. Another thing I was thinking about doing is, always keep the booth. So this does not mean I'm not going to do the booth because I will. But knowing a lot of pickers now, especially here and the Simcoe area, Waterford area, there's the ability to pick for pickers, right? So
Yeah.
I don't pick to get, buy something for $1, $5, $10, sell it for $100. I can pay that $1, $5, $10 and sell it for $35.
Yeah.
And it's gone. And
Yeah.
they're happy. They're going to make money. They don't have to go anywhere. They can come in here and they can buy a lot of stuff. That's kind of what basically the yard sale was. I didn't give anything away. Let me rephrase that. I didn't sell anything for less than what I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things I got what I had into it. But for instance, a banjo, I paid $60 for it. I sold it for $100. I had it for $200 in the booth.
Yeah.
But it wasn't moving. I think it's worth $200. It's in good shape, everything else. There was it was an old beer sign. It was Coors. It was old. I probably got $20-$25 out of it. But when I picked a lot of stuff, that was handed to me.
Mm-hmm.
I plugged it in and it blew the breaker and it didn't work.
No.
I already knew it didn't work. That's why it was handed to me. Here, take this because I bought a lot of stuff. Well, I did the same thing to this guy who had bought a lot of stuff and he was interested in this. I said, buddy, you spent a lot of money here. I said, it was handed to me. I'm going to give it to you because if he goes and plugs it in, something goes wrong. I don't we're having a problem with it. Right. Mm-hmm. Not that I say he would, but it's just, he does things differently. Like he was talking about how he would make things and out of old parts and stuff. He's a crafty guy. So he's probably going to fix it, and it probably is going to look great, and he'll rewire it or he'll put something else to it.
Yeah.
He'll do something with it. Where
my friend John does that.
Kicking from corner to corner to corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, not sure where I'm. So maybe what I'm going to end up doing, and I don't know, but
be a wholesaler.
Do the booth and pick for pickers. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure pickers would love it if they had someone picking for them.
Oh, dude, they were totally loving it. They came back 3 weekends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking for more. One guy came Friday and Saturday, and then the next week he came Friday and Saturday. So,
like, I buy from people at the flea market who are that. In real estate, they were called, I think, bird dogs. People who basically found deals for other people, and they got paid.
Yeah.
And everyone was happy.
Yeah.
Like, I would love that. But because I don't get a passion out of getting up early, on Saturdays and going to garage sales. That does not fill me with passion. So I'm very happy paying someone else to do that and getting the $100 item for $35. Sure, every day, right? But I think also, the other thing that gives me passion is actually stuff I'm interested in that I'm picking up, as opposed to stuff that I know I can make money with, but isn't that interesting, right?
Yeah,
So,
and the stuff that I find is a home run that might be a quick sale, maybe I keep or I throw online or I put it in the booth or something.
yeah,
But things that aren't moving as quick for me might move quicker for someone else too, right? So maybe there's a system that I need to think about on how to clear stuff out, right? Like sell it. Okay, I got $10 into it, sell it for 25 as opposed to 100, and it's sitting in my booth, or $50. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Where I can't really lower it too much because I got commission and rent coming out of that. Where if I put it here, there is no commission, there is no rent. It's just I make $15-20 cash. You know what I mean? Like, so there is something to be said about that as well. So we'll just see. We'll have to wait and see how things go. But I mean, it's interesting how adversity sometimes can create a better situation that you weren't thinking before.
Makes you reflect.
It opens other doors.
Yeah.
So, life's a journey. I think I've said this on shows way in the past and stuff. It's just a journey, and you just have to kind of pivot through it and figure out where you end up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think by having to go back to work is a bad thing. I just think it's where this has taken me, and I can reflect and say, you know what? I had 5 years of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Not having to go to work, like a real job. I was doing this, and I learned a lot and met some good people. And from what I learned, I can continue on using that to gain. And I'm just not going to do it as hard and hardcore. And maybe I'll be a Stephen King. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to cut that out because I was totally just kidding. But I'm just saying, you never know where something else is going to happen, right? So,
and it's not like your business goes from 100 to 0. It probably goes from 100 to 50%.
Yeah. I'm still going to do the booth. I love the booth. I love doing the booth and the people I go in there and talk to.
Yeah.
The only downfall about the booth is now it's an hour drive compared to 10 minutes before. But it's still, if I'm working full time, I'm not going to be able to get there every day. I'm only going to go once a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe because Steph's working a couple days a week there, I'll just fill her car up, and she can run the stuff upstairs. It's going to be price tag, and she'll just put it in the booth.
Yeah.
She does that sometimes now. So there's ways to work around it, but
Yep.
Don't know what else to say there, Carl. Anything?
I think that's good.
Okay.
We're still like in a world of unknowns at this moment, so. But
yeah, I think the world's always an unknown, and then once we figure it out, something unknown comes back. Something else unknown comes in here. So
there you go.
So thanks everybody for the comments. It's good to see Nuno here. Give me a couple days heads up next time you're going to be in the area of Waterford, and I don't know. That's about it. I don't know.
That's good.
That's
good.
So I gotta get a bunch of stuff priced for the booth. That's what I know.
I'm going to be boarding and bagging a bunch of heavy metal magazines. That's my.
You know what though? They're going to be fun to look through.
Oh, I'm going to read them first.
Yeah,
I'll select which ones to read.
Yeah,
because honestly, if I don't do it now, there's a good chance they'll be added to the basement, and I didn't want to do that. So, and I'll read all the history French ones for the articles.
Yeah, to learn history.
Yeah, I'm going to learn lots about history.
Yeah. How do you know? How do you think I know so much about history?
Anyways. Okay, that's good.
Formidable. I don't know. Did I say that right?
What?
Formidable. I don't know. Did I say that right? I
I
might.
don't know. I don't know what you're
Is
trying to
that a
say.
French word? Yeah.
Might be.
Fabulous or
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say now. I can't say it. Yeah, so like we said, we're gonna attach the old episode to the end of this one. So if you don't have any, if you haven't heard enough from us, well, guess what? You're in luck. At least another hour of
Formidable.
Formidable.
Impressive, large, powerful, intense, capable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Formidable. There. I know. Yeah, I don't know. That's my French. That's what I know.
I'm not even gonna do any French. The funny thing is there's been a lot more French people showing up to the market. And I've had to apologize because my French is so bad.
I wished I knew French, dude. I would go to Montreal often. Like, I don't know. I've been there a few times and stuff, but I wish I knew it. I wish I would have studied it, paid more attention as a kid. I didn't pay attention to too much as a kid, so
I had no excuse. I'm surrounded by French. I had French girlfriends. Still haven't learned it. So what can I say?
Yeah. But you'd be able to talk to them. Like, I would go picking over there if I knew French, because there's probably some really, really cool stuff there, right? A lot of people that I know go there and pick the folk art and the different things, right? So
I know basic
furnitures and stuff. What's that?
I know basic French, but most people in Quebec speak English. So it's one of the people I talked to this weekend who's actually buying Smurfs did not speak English.
Yeah.
But we knew enough to figure it out, right? It's not like it was that hard. It's like, I want that one. You're pointing at it. If they say the word, there's a chance I'll know it. But
yeah,
it's fine. So it's all good.
Yeah. Very cool. Very good. How's Siraj?
He's doing good. He's been selling outside.
Oh.
So you can just rent tables there. And he's been getting rid of a lot of stuff that way.
Nice.
I think it's up and down. Like, it's like anything. Like, the first 2 weeks, like, all your good stuff sells. And so his last weekend, I don't think was as good because, he's brought in a lot of good stuff.
Now, what about his pins? Is he still selling that, or?
Yeah, he's still doing pins. I think I should check, but I don't think he's selling online. With pins, you could. Anyways, I'm not going to say anything because it's like I'm not sure, but it is a problem for him. But he's been selling at the market, so I know he's still buying, so it can't be too bad. So.
Well, and you'll hear this if you listen to the full version of the next video, which was 2 weeks ago. Chris's treasure chest. We were talking about having him as a guest, so if he's listening to this, he doesn't have to listen to 3 hours. But he changed his phone number, he said. So, Chris, we'll have you on as a guest if you want.
Yep.
Check out his YouTube channel. But it's basically talking about the de minimis and stuff, I think, right? That's what, if I remember correctly, that's what he was talking about. Because that's what his last videos were about.
Yeah. So. Yeah. He's in the same boat. Like, I'm not sure where he is at right now.
Yeah. Because
he got stung by UPS too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's not too keen to use them, but I don't know. I think he was on vacation mode too, but I honestly haven't looked since we last talked about
it. The last 2 weeks are blurred, but I had so much going on and I just can't even remember. I can't even remember Jamie's, Chris's. I don't even know what channels the last shows I've watched. So I might be missing a week or two of their stuff. So, I just know I'm going to have to tell Jamie what the heck happened to his Blue Jays last night.
I think he talked about that in his last video. I think I watched the first 5 minutes of it or something.
Well,
he's talking about Blue Jays, and it's like, okay, I got to listen to something else because I don't care about sports.
Well, he's a big Blue Jays fan, and they won. They beat the Yankees the first 2 games at home, and then they went to the Yankees last night to their stadium, and they were up 6-1, and they ended up losing 9-6.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, and they would have won that series if they would have won. So,
oh no!
Now the pressure.
Go sports. Go sports.
So Jamie's probably crying, probably drinking a lot of booze.
Wow. Okay.
On day of Blue Jays.
Okay. End this thing.
Welcome to another episode of Reseller Evolution. I'm Scott.
And I'm Carl.
How's it going, Carl?
Good. How are you, Scott?
I am great. Fantastic. Sale after sale after sale after sale. It's just raining money.
Hey, I see a good sale of yours right off the bat.
Uh-oh. What one's that?
Uh-oh.
It's probably been canceled.
Oh, no. Did you
Yeah.
have to cancel another one?
What one are you talking
I'm looking
about?
at pants.
Yes, I canceled that one.
Oh, no. Why?
Well, dude, this one, I ended up blocking the guy. And you know what? I'm
Yeah,
going
we're talking
to
about hockey pants, just to be clear.
They were hockey pants. They were from the 1930s.
Yeah.
And I think I had 250 on them.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see if I can bring back the interesting conversation I had with this guy.
Oh, now I feel bad because last time I also brought up another sale that I said, hey, great sale. And you're like, yeah, I had to cancel that.
Well, that one, because that was a U.S. buyer and he couldn't pay for it. And I can't send it.
Yeah.
Right? While I look for this, Carl, anything new? What's going on? How's the booth doing?
The booth is fine. What about the booth? I don't know. Nothing's changed there. It was an okay weekend. Nothing special. I sold one of those online though. I have sold a few things online, obviously just to Canadians, which is kind of good. One of those is, do you ever see those PC Insiders train sets?
Yep.
So I sold one of those, $150. Pain in the butt to pack, but I get to do that today.
Well, actually, we have a comment from an old friend who used to be on the show, and that was one of his favorite things to find.
Was the train sets? Yeah.
But we'll talk about him later when we get to the comments. But anyways, yeah. No, I know. Yep. Very good.
And yeah.
How much did you get for it, you said?
150 plus shipping.
Nice.
So it's Franken boxing a box, which means I took two different boxes, to make one box. I sold a Funko Pop, so I can sell Funko Pops again. That was $35. And then an old favorite of mine, calculator, a TI-84 for $75. So hopefully those are not going to. I know one's going to Newfoundland. I forget which one though. So
well, that's actually better than what I've been doing. Like, I mean, I got 350 items still, but all I've been listing lately is the toy soldiers, and I haven't really done anything lately. Working on the booth and stuff, but not listing. So those sound like good sales. I haven't really sold anything. I might have sold a couple toy soldiers, but those were like they might even been before the last show we recorded. Like they were last week's sales, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did get a small payment on Tuesday.
Woo.
So something sold, but I mean, it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything super fantastic, that's for sure. But most of my energy has been away from eBay, and a lot of it's been at the booth. So, I did have a yard sale. I had a yard sale.
Oh, okay.
I had a yard sale Saturday actually. It was kind of like a last minute thing. Like it was kind of do I or don't I, do I or don't I, and then at the last minute, I said yes, and I was going to do Friday, Saturday, and then something happened Friday, and I went to Simcoe, and so I didn't do it Friday, and then I wondered if I was going to even do it Saturday, and then I just I don't know, 6:00 at night, I started pulling stuff out of the garage, and I thought, yeah, so I'm pulling that stuff out to about 10:00 at night. Then I come inside, I made up a few signs, and then I was up at 6 a.m, went and put the signs around and pulling more stuff out 6:30. So anyway, there was no advertisement for it. There was a couple signs just kind of on a pole every, I don't even know St. Thomas well enough to know where I should put these signs, but you just randomly. And had a total of 10 people come by.
Woo!
Yeah. However, I did over $500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So one guy came by and I had a bunch of diecast cars. He wanted to see them, and I said, "Well," I said, I really don't want to like sell them at yard sale. I'm not going to give them away. I said, I bought a ton of them, right? I said, I'm putting them in the booth for $10, $15. And he goes, well, I'd like to see them. And I said, well, I know what I can get for them right now. So I don't really want to go too much under that. So anyways, he ended up dropping, he did $185. We agreed on 200, but he didn't have enough. And then he wanted some other things in the garage he had picked out already. He goes, I'm going to come back with more money. He goes, I'm interested in these 2 diecasts. And I said, well, I'm not going to give those away. I know I get $40 a piece. And I said, that's what I want. So he comes back. He goes, okay, so what about these? And I'm like, well, like I said, I need $40 a piece, right? I said, I know I can sell them for 40. I said, there's no question. They're diecast transport trucks. One has Indian Motorcycle on it. Another one's a Peterbilt. Anyway, they're in crisp new boxes. You saw that pic.
Yeah.
So he liked something else as well. And then he goes, what can you do? And I said, dude, he goes, listen, he goes, I'm just doing what you do. And I said, I know, but I had to pay for these 2, right? Like, I'm just giving them the spiel back. I said, I know what I can get for them. And the other one was in its box too, but the plastic was pushed in. I said, you give me 40 each on these transports, I'll throw that one in for free. It's probably a $10, $15 one. And he goes, okay, fine. And then he ended up buying 2 put together model kit cars, and I wanted $10 a piece. So anyways, he gave me $60. So he was happy, and he said he'll be back. He wants more of these cars. He had $5 left in his wallet the second time coming back, and he goes, well, I guess yard saling's done for the day, but I got enough for a coffee. But he spent like I said, like definitely over $200, or maybe close to 3, like 185 plus another 60. And then during that time, a couple other pickers came by, and they saw the signs, and they came by, and they dropped some money, and they were really happy. I told them I was going to do a real yard sale this weekend if it's not raining, so they're definitely coming back. And then they called other people that came, like another person and his wife that came, and they dropped a couple $100. So
wow.
Yeah, so it was, and he's coming back this weekend too. He goes, these are the yard sales I like to see, blah blah blah. So anyway, I sold some stuff to them under what I would get at the booth, but I didn't have to pay commission. I didn't have to set it up. And honestly, the whole reason for the yard sale was to kind of thin out the stuff because I have so much.
Yeah.
And that's what it did. It allowed me to organize some boxes too, because I started going through them. And I have so many good car parts, from like MGA cars to like Model T, like Ford Model T cars, Ford Model A cars. I flipped over these chrome, really good shape, these chrome, I don't know if they're bumpers. I think they're probably for the front or something, or some sort of panel, but they're chrome, and they're in pieces of like 2 or 3. And I started putting them on the lawn, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe somebody will grab these for $10. And I flipped one over, and it said $340 for the pair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I got about 6 to 8 pairs of this box. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
trying to
big
check it
box,
out.
but they're just like sticking out, but they're in there.
Yeah.
Because what I did is I was at an auction, and there was 3 shelves full of car stuff.
Yeah.
And I paid $100 for all 3 shelves. So I don't even know what's in there. I know those coil boxes were in there. I sold those very quickly, but I knew what they were. There was odometers in there for the Model A car. I sold those very quickly. So I more than made my money back. I made more than made it back. But I don't know. Do I just try to get rid of this car stuff, or do I actually like, you know what? This might be something I could put on Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, even maybe even sell on eBay, right?
Yeah.
So remember the radiator, not the radiator, sorry, the grill,
yeah,
the Charger grill, like that.
Yeah.
What I get $200-$300 for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm digressing on, but I was amazed at what I had still that I didn't know I had, and I call it a success for what I put in it. This week, I mean, unfortunately, it's raining this week, but hopefully, like Friday, Saturday, is supposed to start being nice. But I can't really get things pulled out until after the rain. But we have a fence, but you can walk right from the driveway into the backyard. I'm gonna kind of block that, like, so people can walk into the backyard to a certain degree, and then I'll block the rest of it off. And I'm gonna set all those tables up like the day before, maybe even Thursday night type thing. And I'm gonna have a huge yard sale.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna unload a lot of stuff. Like I'm very fortunate. I get a lot of stuff very cheap, so I don't have to like nickel and dime everything to just try to get my money back. Like pretty much the stuff. Like I sold an old phone from the 30s. I might have had a couple bucks in. You know what I mean? I've got he gave me 25. It's probably worth 60, 70 bucks.
Yeah.
Right? Like a no problem sale at 60, 70 bucks. It's from the 30s. It's got that old look. It was really good shape. But I got rid of it and I got 25 bucks out of it. You know what I mean? I don't have to sit it in the booth. I don't have to worry about commissions and stuff off anyway. Like even if I sold it for $100, by the time commissions and everything comes off, I'm looking at $70. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's if I sold it at $100. If they ask for 10% off, now I'm at $60. You know what I mean? It might not even have been worth that because it was black. There was no fancy color, but it was old and good shape. But let's say I got $60 for it. It's still going to come down, $40. I still have to deal with it. And I got 1,000 things I got to deal with. So to get rid of it for $25, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And he was happy with it. Like he knows that it was worth more than that. So.
Yeah.
But these guys are seasoned guys, right? Like I'm looking at them and I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't say this, but I'm like, these guys are good, man. Like they're like, I think I've said this before where you kind of have the advantage because you have years of experience, and these people having yard sales are like a lot of times first timers. They're not professional. So you're like laying on the, every trick in the book, and they don't have any tricks. They don't even know the tricks, right? Is there a trick book? They don't even know that. But these guys know the trick book, and I know the trick book. So I know what they're trying to do, and it was kind of really fun, But I know they got to resell it. So here, but there was some things in there that they're really interested in, and I just said I'm not going to let it go. Like I got that Ronson lighter. That Ronson lighter display case that spins around. It's from the 70s. It's in great shape. He goes, "What do you want for this?" And I said, I'm gonna try 350. I might even try 400. I said, you can have it at that price, but other than that, I'm not letting it go. And he just looked at me and okay. And there was some nice old parlor lamps and different things. And I said, I got to get at least $100 for them. I said, they came out of an old Victorian home. I got 3 of them. And he's like, it's all milk glass. It's got the still milk. And I thought, they're all the same, bud. I said, they're all just like that. They're just different colors. Painted? They're hand painted like that? Yep. He goes, well, what do you want? I said, I got to get $100 a piece. I said, they're probably worth $250.
Yeah.
Right? I said, but if I got $100, I'd be happy. So he goes, well, I'll think about it. And he's going to come back this week. But, just shit like that. But they're dangly brass. They're very ornate. They look good, but they're going to be a pain in the butt to put together and hang and display and then take down and have somebody buy them and take them down.
Yeah.
And, so if I got $100, I'm good with that. There's no headache, but
I'm much more conscious of that. Like at Value Village, I saw something worth 150 and they wanted like $10 and I left it behind. Because I didn't want to deal with it. It was an electronic. It was old.
Yeah.
Who knows what parts were missing? I'd have to figure out how to test it. And it's just like, you know what? I let someone else deal with that. They can have $100.
And I'm normally that way too. However, when I went to this estate sale, these things were still attached to the ceiling, dude.
Yeah.
Right? They're hanging. and I convinced them to take them down because they looked so good
Yeah.
and they were so, I mean, they were usable, right? Like, I mean, they're an oil lamp. They weren't being used, but they were, it's like the house converted to electricity, but they didn't take these things down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just left them because they looked so good. But it was an old Victorian home, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. It's just I want $100 for them each. Like,
Yeah.
right? Like that's
Yeah.
the way it is. So
Yeah.
you want them, you got to pay you got to pay up, man.
Well, Scott, I got to make some profit here. You got to leave some meat on the bones. You know, I got to
Well,
bring it.
Honestly, he'd get 200. I would be surprised. I mean, if you go on eBay, you could probably get $500 for it.
Yeah.
But in reality wise, they're not really shippable. Like you can't, like they're going to be like, I wouldn't want to ship them.
No.
I mean, for $500, I'd take the chance, but no, I would just I would. My plan was to put them in the booth, right? Hang them up from this. Like we got low hanging boards and stuff. Like I could hang them. They're high, but the ceiling is probably 15 feet high.
Right.
But I could hang them probably 10 feet high. You know, from a bar. Anyway, yeah. So, anyways, that was kind of the thing. But I'm rambling on here because there's not much else to ramble on about, Carl.
Well, it sounds like a really good garage sale. You got $500.
Well, it would have been over 500, like just over. So I transparency, but it's it's interesting. I was gonna let him come into the house like I did the other guy, but I just thought I'm gonna do this next week, right? And so they'll be back. Really nice guys though. Like, I mean, they're not hardcore, like in your face. I want to punch you out if you don't give me the deal type people. They're very, hey, they called other pickers to come here.
Yeah.
Like I would never do that. Like
no,
other than Ben. Well, I guess I did Adam and Ben, and I guess there's a few people. Yeah, I guess there's a few people I would allow to enter my territory, but that's because they do that back and forth. So I guarantee you they're a group that's doing that too. But they really were interested in what I like, man, you got a good eye for this stuff. And like, he's like, how long you been into it? Like they were really curious, right?
Well, it's like fresh meat in St. Catherine.
Well, fresh meat for sure. But there's also that camaraderie. Like,
yeah.
When you kind of like, I'm the same way. But when I see someone's picking abilities or just someone new that's got really good stuff, like you always like to kind of just talk to them and see what's up. Like you share an interest that you're sharing an interest, right? Like you're sharing, like, oh, there's another one of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like that's what I do on the weekends, right? Talk to all the other resellers.
Yeah.
You don't have to be against them. You don't have to make enemies with these people, right? And often you're looking for different stuff anyways. But
and I wasn't like giving this stuff away. I mean,
no.
I repeated that phrase 1,000 times to all of them. Like I'm just not going to give this away, right? Like I like to thin this stuff out, but there's a lot of stuff in here I can put in the booth, and this is what I know I can get from it.
Yeah.
But they were very thankful at the same time that I was giving them fair prices that they could still make something too. So, and I still made money. Everything I sold, I made money on.
And you made room.
That's I made room, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that was my excitement. I mean, if eBay's, you know what? I'm going to retract what I was about to say because it's not eBay's fault. I don't even know if I really blame the Americans. I just think e-commerce has come to where it is. That changes were inevitable. I don't like it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like, I don't like it. It pisses me off. But they're not doing anything different than other countries are doing. I don't want to get into the politics of it. I'm just trying to see it straight and narrow. Like, I'm just trying to see it as a person with no other interest. Just e-commerce has come a long way in 25 years. So there's bound to be changes. And now we're going to hit AI and different things, other things that are going to change, some for what we agree with and others we're not going to agree with or not going to like. So I don't want to blame eBay at all. And I don't know if there's anyone to blame. I think it's just circumstances. But anyway, at that being said, I mean, it's a big change for Canadians. It's a big change for a lot of people that resell around the world. And let's face it, if you're a reseller in America, you're going to be very happy. So, but things change, so we have to adapt. We have to turn. Like, honestly, Carl, I think I know I've said this to you off the air. I don't know if I said it on the air, but most likely, relatively soon, I'm going to be I'm going to be going back to work or searching for a job closer here. It was actually something very highly potential around here might be in the works, right? And I'm just not ready right now because I got a lot of stuff I got to clear up here. But maybe in a week or two, I'll revisit that and see what happens. But will I stop reselling? No, the booth is going to go strong. It's still going strong. People are buying. eBay could be very strong too. I don't know. Maybe I got to list 4,000 items to kind of get it to where. But do I want to put more work in for less outcome? That's my thoughts. Like, I don't know if I want to do that.
No,
I liked where I was and what I was making with the effort I had to put into it. I would have always liked to have put another, 25% effort into it just to kind of, beef the pot up a little bit. But I always knew that I always felt that option was available, and now it's not. And if I have to put more work in for, just to survive, I don't want to go that route.
No,
right.
You don't want to get desperate.
I'd rather just go back, work a job, have my weekends off, have some vacation, know that there's a steady income coming in there, and then do this on the side and relax. Not worry about Canada Post going on strike, not worry about increase in commissions, not worry about shit that I can't control that is going to deeply affect what happens.
Yeah, and this is so much bigger than anything else we've had to deal with. Like even the strike, Canada Post strike, even with higher fees and stuff like that. Like that stuff we could deal with. This is
because it's short term, but I don't think it's any less. I don't think it's. I mean, to a degree, because we had other options, but what I was going to say, I don't think it's any more damaging or less damaging than the strike. But
the difference though is that it's not consistent. What's happening? It goes up and down, right? The amounts go down. How we're told it's going to work changes constantly, and business hates one thing, and that's uncertainty. And I feel we're still in that.
Yeah, but that's going to level out eventually.
It will, but we're not there yet.
Well, we're not. We're just in the beginning of the beginning. We're not even at the beginning of the end, or the beginning or the end of the beginning, or I don't know.
I still hear different things almost every day, right? Like contrarian things. So it's like we're not.
Yeah, but who are you hearing them from?
We're other resellers.
Yeah, so you gotta take that with a grain of salt.
I always do. Yeah,
that happened through the throughout the Canada Post strike. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff always happens. You just have to deal with what you get hit with. But I'm not disagreeing with you, Carl. Like this is something that, in my position, you can't recover from. There's no recovery. Like Canada Post, that you just got to weather a storm. I get that, but it was still very damaging.
Well, Canada Post was damaging, but you knew it was going to end at some point.
Right. And this will end at some point too. It'll not end. Sorry. It'll level out to where we know the playing field.
Yes.
And we'll be able to either adapt or move forward into some other direction.
Exactly.
But I don't know.
I don't know yet.
I think I'm digressed off, and I don't know really what we started the conversation on. However, I just think I'm just tired. Like I don't want to live that type of lifestyle. You know, I think I said this last show, but I'll say it again just in case I didn't. But there was a couple of weeks ago, I let the dogs outside and I went out and I was in my bare feet and the sun was beating down. The grass was hot and warm on the feet. And I'm just out there and I was just standing in the yard and I'm like, I remember a time when I was working at Toyota and you get a vacation week off or you come home for a long weekend or just a weekend, just a day off. That day off was a day off.
Yes.
You didn't bring work home with you.
No.
There was a peace. There was like, do I cut the grass? Do I sit down with a beer? Do I cook some steaks? Do I go for a drive? Do I go to the beach? Like, options were there. And as much as I really liked reselling, and I'd still be doing it if things hadn't changed, there is something to be said for that. Because when you're reselling, you know what's going through my mind? Hurry up and piss, dog, because I got to go list some stuff. I got to go clean some stuff. I got to take a trip to Simcoe, which is going to take me an hour, or Waterford. You know, like that's what's going through my head.
You can't escape it because it's right there at home.
It's there every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's that aspect too. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm going to be crying. I might even be better off going back. It's something I tried. I don't feel I failed at. I feel the system and I feel the universe changed to where it doesn't make sense anymore. And now it's time to revisit a different lifestyle, you know, a different path. I'm not going to give up on this. I love it. Still going to do the booth. The booth is doing good.
Yeah.
Do I go from the one big booth downstairs and the big booth downstairs, up the two I converted into one. I think I mentioned that last week, but you know that. Do I just go to the one big booth upstairs, or do I still keep both booths, the one downstairs and upstairs? So
yeah, you released a great Instagram video on that actually on your new booth,
and it's still not done, but thank you. Like the walls are apart, and it's got its basics, but the one side needs to be like I have a whole plan, but I have to work on that. But
yeah, people aren't looking at. You should check out Scott's Instagram post. It's pretty good. So
like my YouTube channel is Scott Sells Stuff. That's my main thing, but I couldn't get that on Instagram, so it's Stuff Scott Sells.
Yeah.
That's the only one that was available for whatever reason.
Good. Yeah.
But anyway.
So that's the story of what happened with the pants.
28 minutes. Yeah.
But you didn't tell us the story of the pants.
I did?
No, you didn't.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, yeah, because I was looking for. Okay. So, anyways, the story of the pants was the guy liked it. He was a watcher. So I sent him an offer of 15% off. I think I might even have done 20%, or maybe I did it on my computer. But regardless, I must have not did the 15% off. It was $250, and I went in and I give him an offer of $199.95, $200.
Right. So what is that? 20% off?
Well, I don't know. I think I just went in one night. So he goes, "Will you take 195?" And I'm like, Are you a joker? Like, what's going on here? First of all, I checked to make sure he was Canadian because I'm like thinking there was something going on there. Like maybe they saw American dollars or something. But anyway, so okay. So I ignored it. I just like, I'm not answering this. I ignored it. I didn't reply. So then, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, I hope this guy just goes away. Should I block him? Like, the message read a little bit more, but it just didn't sit right. So then I'm I'm downstairs. We have a couch down here now. I'm probably just taking a break. I don't know. I was watching some TV and all of a sudden, cha-ching. I'm like, what the heck? Okay, awesome, right? I look at it. It's the
Yeah.
pants. I'm like, what the heck? I said, did this guy buy these? So I went in. Sure enough, he bought them. So I'm like, damn it. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's good. And then all of a sudden, a couple minutes later, bling.
Oh no, I traumatized by that.
The guy
noise.
wants to cancel the order. He just wanted $5 off. Then he bought it, and now he wants to cancel it.
Okay, yes.
So I got to
Yes.
up off the couch immediately, ran to this computer, and I'm like, accept the cancellation, block.
Yeah.
And I took them
I don't
off.
blame you.
I didn't relist them, but I'm actually going to sell them in the booth.
Okay.
And I'm putting $225 on them because they're 1930s hockey pants, and yeah. So that's the story, dude. That's it.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. No. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't blame you. That's what the hell is that? Like, you just know something's if that happened to me, I would do the same thing because I'd be like, something. Even if you went ahead and bought them again, something's going to happen.
Yeah. And what am I going to do? Give an offer of $5 off? Like,
yeah. Well,
come on, go take a hike. But yeah.
Okay. Well, that sucked. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? But yeah, I don't know. That's about it. I don't know what else to say. I do another yard sale this weekend, and we'll see what happens. The booth though is, dude, it's never failed, and it's right in par with, where I need to be. This is a very strong September compared to past Septembers. Usually September's low, but it's humming right where it needs to be. August was a little better than where it needed to be. In October, we're running right into what is usually the best month of the year for me.
Yeah, October traditionally for me has been the best, but yeah.
But I still might sell eBay. I mean, I think I'm going to continue to put the toy soldiers up. I'm not getting that kind of money anywhere else for them. Even Canadians buy them. So, maybe it's just weird how the Canadians stopped buying at the same time as this happened, which is odd to me because they were kind of like, I don't know, 60% American, 65%, and the other percent was Canadian. But everyone just stopped at the same time, dude. I don't know. I understand the Americans because I'm not selling it to them anymore because of the tariff thing, but where are the Canadians? Like, so, but I think they'll have to come back eventually. I mean, they're not going to get those prices for what they're getting anywhere else. So I think I'll sell stuff like that. I think I'm going to do the car parts still because there's some really good car parts. Like I was like, wow, that's awesome. Like gear shifts and just different things that are probably $60 to $100 a piece.
Yeah.
Gears, like headlight things and stuff. I don't know what kind of desirability is there, but there is some desirability because there's sales on these things, but is it going to sit around for 2 years or is it going to sell in 6 months or less? I don't know.
Like, the way I see with eBay now is kind of put back on the back burner a little bit for me as well. Like, it's not like it's costing me, well, I guess I'm paying a monthly store fee, but I can't remember what that is, 25 or $35. But I'm just seeing it as like, it's fine. Like I just put stuff up, I can leave it and putting my energy into the booth. Even though it's not really paying off, it's all good. I think it could be, well, I don't believe it, but someone told me that as early as next week we could have the Canadian international shipping. I don't think we will, but we'll see. The other big thing to do, of course, is put origin on all our items. Yes. I didn't even touch that.
I've done that. That's why I've only have like a little less than 350 items because I took everything off and I went in and did that. Yeah. And then there's some things I'm like, well, this will sell for pretty much the same in the booth. So why would I put it back on eBay to sit for a long time? So that's why I'm sitting with 350 right now. Most of it is going to be toy soldiers, but not to cut you off, Carl, but yeah. Yeah,
I have about the same amount of items, not including postcards. So
okay.
And probably, like I said before, I need another purge. Actually, honestly, my basement's pretty messy now, so I brought home a bunch of stuff. Like, my issue is I would bring stuff to the booth to price, and I wasn't pricing it, and it was just like piling up around me, and then I couldn't move. Couldn't move at home, couldn't move at the booth. It's like, yeah, this is not good. So, yeah, we'll see.
Like, if somebody came in and offered me 15 grand for the toy soldiers I have left, I'd give it to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, how generous.
What's that?
Generous? Because you have a lot.
I have about
left,
500 more. It could actually be a little bit more than that.
Well, put a garage sale and just don't take them outside. Just say $1,500 and you get 500 soldiers.
I'm just trying to think here. So that would be about $30 an item, which is a good discount from what I'm asking on the lower end one, and is a huge discount on the bigger ones. And I still have a lot of bigger ones. I don't have the $400 sets anymore or any of that kind of stuff, but I have some listed right now, and you can go see them. But they're like on the horses. They're mint. They're First Legions. Well, there's other ones too, but the First Legions are so nice. Like, I almost should keep them, but they're like on horseback in full color, like warrior gear for the Indian ones. There's even some really neat, like the cavalry ones are kind of all the same to me. You know what I mean? The Indian ones are all different. Like, they're, well, obviously, unless they're the same model, but I mean, they all have different paintings. They all have different weapons. They all have like coolness to them. But some of the, I don't know if they'd be called militia or something, but they would be not in uniform. Like, some of them have trench coats and stuff like that. Like, those guys on the horses are pretty cool too, but not, I mean, the Indian ones are definitely the most like eye-catching and appealing and valued. So they'd be getting a great deal on those ones. But 500, let's just say they're worth on an average $60 a piece, right? So they're getting half price. Easily half price, maybe even more at 15 grand, but if somebody wanted an instant collection, there's a lot here still. Like, like I said though, Carl, honestly, there might be more than 500. Like, there's at least 500 left. I mean, I got 2 full boxes, 4 full boxes right beside me here.
Well, like you're saying, like
a couple over there, and still the ones I have online. What?
They're still selling though. Even in Canada, you did sell a bunch just last week, right?
No, for sure. I got a couple guys in Alberta. Quebec seems to get a lot. They really like the trappers and those kind of John Jenkins ones go out to Quebec a lot. I have some in Ontario. It's really funny. Well, I guess BC, Alberta, Ontario, and Quebec.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 provinces that seem to be more into these.
Yeah.
Are those 4 provinces. I don't know if I've sold anywhere else. Alberta, BC, Ontario, and Quebec.
That's kind of what
Quebec's probably the most, but it'd be very close with Alberta, and then Ontario and BC. So
that's my sales in general, to be honest. Yeah. Quebec, Ontario is probably the biggest too.
Quebec, their shipping is like unbelievable. Like, to ship to Quebec is so reasonable. Like, they must have some sort of like special discount or something, because I find it probably the cheapest place to ship is Quebec.
Well, I'm right here on Quebec, right next to Quebec, right?
So
that makes
it
cheap too.
I should ship to Quebec, and you go pick it up if I need to ship.
Well, Montreal is 2 hours for me. Toronto is 5.
Yeah.
So Quebec City is 6.
You're right. We're such a big country, right? Like, it's just hard to even. Quebec just sounds far from me, but if I was to say Carl, really, that does seem a lot closer, but really it's not, right? It's not. But anyway. Carl.
In terms of buys, I bought some fun banks, the lock boxes, but not for like secure, just more like penny, like for your coins and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yep.
made out of old postal boxes that you would have, like the front plates, you know, for 1900 kind of thing, 1930s. I got some of those, so we'll see how those do in the booth. Someone's like, they sold them as reproduction, but I don't think they're reproduction because I don't think they would reproduce these because they had so many of these front plates. So I picked those up. I picked up some Vinylmation stuff, but nothing really interesting there. What else did I pick up? Some tobacco boxes, more pipes. So
pipes are always good. I always do.
busy.
Like you're talking like estate smoking pipes.
Yeah. Yeah, the traditional, like, you know, the wooden ones.
Yeah. What do you charge for them?
About 20 to 50, but we'll see how they go. They might be a little less in the booth. So, because some of them are worth good money, right?
Yeah, but there's always ones with little cracks or chips in them. I don't put those online.
No, they're not chipped, but they people chew the end bits.
Yeah. Well, they
The
swap
inserts?
those out anyway.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't think they're being used necessarily. People might just have them as a.
Well, yeah,
Just like-
they're collectors, but some of the guys use them too, right? They'll have
I have
different
not-
pipes and they'll use them,
Yeah.
and I think there's clubs and all sorts of stuff with those.
Well, I'm sure there's. I haven't seen or smelt someone using a pipe though in a long
Yeah,
time. I remember that smell because it's very distinct from a pipe.
Yeah, they're closet pipe smokers.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, don't tell anyone, honey. I'm gonna go smoke a pipe.
Last of a dying breed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I think there's clubs and different things, but I don't know where I was going with it. I think so what I do is I put $12.95 on most of them, and if there's something special about it, I'll either put it on. I would otherwise put it online, or beef it up a little bit. Like if it's $100 pipe, I'm not putting $100 in the booth. I'll put 20 or something on it, but for the most part, they're $12.95 each.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like, the thing that's helpful here is my friend John has some pipes in the booth, so I can kind of cheat and look at what he's asking and get the kind of guidance off of him because he's had like 7 or 8 of them in the booth.
Yeah,
and only one is actually sold, so it's not like there's a huge.
It's because he's asking too much.
Or it could be that, or there's not enough demand, right? I think he sold one for 20. So, but I was using ChatGPT too to kind of learn pipes. It was helping me out quite a bit.
The problem, and this is what we struggle with all the time, so it's kind of back to reselling problems, but the struggle is if you got 20 pipes and you're asking, let's say, $25 a piece, and you sell one at $25, you can still be holding on the others. Like, psychologically, you give yourself a value because someone actually bought it for that price, but that doesn't mean they're going to all sell at that price or they're going to sell quickly. But if you put them at half the price, they might run out the door. It's always a struggle for me. You know what I mean? Like pipes, I buy super cheap. Like I don't want to pay more than a couple bucks a pipe.
I think I paid about $5 a pipe.
Yeah, so I would, if I was getting a lot of them, I'd consider that because I'd have to look at conditioner. There's a lot of things, but I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's unreasonable at all.
No, I'll pay $5 a pipe because generally I'm going to get about $15 or $20, right? It's fine. Yeah. They don't take up a lot of room either. That's the other big thing.
And $15 is probably more in line. Like I put $12.95 because it's that sneaky little. It doesn't sound like 15, but to me it pays like 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
you know what the difference is though with me at the booth.
What's
if I put something at $12.95.
Yeah,
I'd have change a nickel.
Oh,
right. Yeah. So I go with, and the funny thing is I've been finding that if you put something at 20, they're going to offer you 15. It always comes off as a clean 5, and if I go like well, I'll give it to you for 18 instead.
Yeah.
They won't go for it. Like if I ask 20 and they say, how about 15? And I say, well, how about 18? They won't buy it. So I have to really keep that in mind when I'm doing my pricing.
That's interesting. I mean, because I don't collect the money. It goes through cash. It goes through a cashier, and I'm not even there, so I don't care about it. But I'm wondering if it bugs them. Like I don't know. No, they just ring it through, and a till pops open, and they give them change, or they're paying debit credit anyway. So
yeah, they don't care,
and they're not,
and they expect it at a retail store to see $12.95. It's not a surprise.
And usually they're not buying one pipe; they're going to buy 2 or 3, and they're probably going to buy an old one in bowl and I don't know, a die cast car. Like they're going to buy 5 or 6 items, and then they just get all added up, and boom, there's your final. So I don't really look at it that way. You know what I mean?
Like,
but
when I look at the market, it's pretty rare that someone has even 50 cents, like $3.50 or whatever. Usually it's flat.
Yeah. It'd be like a yard sale. I'm not going to say, I'll take $12.95 for that. Say like
$12 and 45 cents. Yeah, no, it's not happening, right?
I'm going to say that this Saturday. Oh, I'll take $12.95. You're going to look at me.
Or, even worse, like I'll take $12.66. Get out your panties. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if you're collecting the money, it's a different thing. But yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else, Carl? Like we do got some comments.
Yeah, let's get into the comments.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. So on Spotify, we have a couple. So one's from Tina Mack. Pretty hard. Stay positive these days for sure. Yeah, we're in the same boat. She went to her first estate sale, and she says she was overwhelmed and didn't know where to start. Yes, my first estate sale, and still even now, is very overwhelming, especially if they're not clean. You know, not like if things are dirty, just like things are messy, right? Like, in fact, I prefer when they're messy now, because I found with the messy ones, you have a chance of actually finding something interesting. The ones that are like everything's well organized and everything is like kind of sparse in a way because they have thrown out a lot of stuff. Those are, I find, less interesting in terms of like prices because they find they want more, but also just no digging for treasure in those. But I given up on estate sales in Ottawa. They cost too much on the first day, and on last days is Sundays usually, and I can't go on Sundays. So, and it's very competitive. You know, it's definitely the sort of thing where people sign up sheets and they'll sign up at 6 a.m. kind of stuff, and it's like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, so, we don't have those here. We have like estate sales, but it's usually family run. Every now and then they'll have somebody else running it, so-called a professional, but I've never known the person running it. They're always someone I've never met.
Yeah, like around here, I haven't found the private ones. So I'm probably not looking enough because I'm on the newsletters for the professional ones, right? The mailing sheets.
Yeah,
and actually, someone at the market actually works for that company, which is kind of funny.
And
so,
I go ahead, Carl. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I'm just saying the professional ones here. Like, I understand they're trying to get top price for their client.
Yeah.
But it was just not doable, you know.
And I kind of misspoke because there is one individual who I know that has run a few. And he always gives me head up. I know him personally through picking, like, but I know him personally, and it didn't give me any breaks on the price on the first day, but if I go back the next time. Right. So where am I going with this? For the most part, though, it's run by the families, and you go through the house. And the hardest part for me is that usually there's a lot of people there, and you need a pile, where people can't pick through it.
Yes.
So sometimes I'll have Stephanie stand there and guard it with her life. But if you go by yourself. That's probably the most overwhelming part of it, if that even makes sense. Like that's the most worrisome, or the I mean, that's what causes me the more stress. I love estate sales. I love going into the house, especially if it's advertised as a yard sale, and then you get there and you can go through the house and everything is for sale.
Yeah.
Like if those things are like, damn, I wish I was here earlier type, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I guess what I'm getting at though is I always found that you find sometimes the best things
Yeah.
at those places because it's unfortunate, and I've said this other times too, but someone has passed away, but you can find things that maybe they've held on to for a long time, and they wouldn't otherwise want to give it away, but now nobody else cares about it.
Yes.
It just has to get out of here.
Yeah.
Right. And you're not bidding against anyone. It's just a matter of finding it before someone else.
Yeah. And like everyone, I think gets a certain amount of overwhelm too, right? It's like one thing I've learned in those estate sales is have my camera flashlight ready, because usually they're not well lit too.
Yeah. And if it's a good pick, like don't just pick for the sake of doing this, but the bigger the pile, the better.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to get rid of a lot of stuff here. Right. And
if you pick too much, they're like, oh, that must be really good. Maybe.
And 200 sounds like a lot. So if you got a small pile and it's 200 and you got a big pile and it's 200, to them, it's still $200.
That's a very good point.
Right. And a bigger pile might, like, you're not seeing the forest for the trees type thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's an advantage to that. But at the same time, they want to get rid of it. So I don't know. That's just my. So when these guys come here and they get a big pile on this Saturday, I'm gonna be like, I know this trick. You know what I mean?
I've seen some funny situations where at a garage sale, someone wanted a whole collection, and they wanted to buy in bulk, and then the guy started counting one piece by one piece out of the whole collection, and the buyer walked away. He's left. But the seller didn't realize the person had walked away, so was still counting as the guy was gone. And he's like, "Where did the guy go?" It's like, "Yeah." And I said to him, "It's like, yeah, he wanted to buy it as one piece, not individually calculated all together." And like, there's your price. Well,
and here's another thing: these guys last weekend, super great people. I really like the people. They were like, I guess we're all nice, because you have to be. You don't want to be an ass because you're not. But anyway, they just seemed. But they were handing me money every time they would pick a couple of things. They were giving me money for it. It got to the point where I was like, well, I hope I don't accuse them of not paying for something, but they've already paid me. Like I was trying to keep track of that. Yeah. I think if there was more people, that would have been harder to do. So you almost like them to kind of put the pile together and then pay for it. So I guess there's an advantage to the seller that way as well. So yeah, it
can get confusing.
It can be confusing. So the bigger pile is probably better for them too, right? Like just put it together and then we'll deal with it all at once.
They're scared of someone taking from their pile.
Everybody carrying around 4 items that they paid for already, and then grabbing another 6 items. It's like that can be really in trouble too. So I guess there's advantages both ways. Sometimes you got to be on the other side to understand their views, and so I guess that's what I was last Saturday. But anyway, it's
I've learned in the booth, always use a calculator, even for the most simple math. Like once there's 3 items, it's like, yeah, I got 5 plus 2 plus 1. Because like when I don't do that, I make mistakes.
Yeah.
So
I'm in a yard sale mode. For sure, you at the booth, you want to make sure you don't make a mistake. But on the yard sale mode, I'm not overly concerned about it. I'll even just like there was a couple things that they came back with, and I'm like, I can either charge them $1 or $2, or I can say just to take it. And I just told them to take it.
Yeah, I've done that at the booth. I said, someone had this weird thing. I said, just take it, and they said, no, here's $2. And I said, okay, fine. But it's like I don't even know why that's there.
Although there was one, I had some old books out, and I thought I went through them pretty thoroughly. And she pulls out this book on instruments, and it was old. And she brought it to me. She goes, take a couple bucks for this. I'm like, sure. And then she started looking through it in front of me and said, oh, look at this and look at it. And I'm like, That might be like a $30 book. What the fuck is it doing out here? Sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but what the heck is it doing out here? I'm like, that could be a $50 book. I don't know. Like, I'm like,
Wow.
I said, well, you picked a good one because like she's already paid for it, and I agreed to it, and I wouldn't even have known if she didn't sit there and look through it. And I'm like it was probably a book from the early 1900s. It was small. It was maybe like 4" by 4", like 3". Like it was a small book.
Yeah.
And I thought it was on like a musical book, right? Because it had musical or something, but it was in the very fancy font. But she's going through it, and it talks about the instrument, how it's made, the violin, the the bass version, the viol. I don't know, but trumpet, like, and it was colored pictures, and I'm like those might be like specialty colored pictures. Like I'm like, wow, like man, I should have looked at that book, and I just like. I had to let it go.
Yep.
Let it go.
Yeah. I totally get where you're coming from, though.
But I'm like,
you'll forget about it.
Yeah. But she picked a good book, and I'm like, man, I thought I went through them. That one slipped through the fingers. But you know what? I made $2.
There you go.
Because I had nothing in that book. That was came from a pile of books that I made money long time ago. So I'm up $2. But anyway,
yeah.
Okay, so we got another comment here.
Yeah. Adam.
From Adam, you guys need a friend that lives on the border so you can tunnel your eBay items across.
Yeah,
wow.
I made that joke before that we need to get speedboats and we'll just cross the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence.
Dude, I don't even know if I'd chance it nowadays.
Middle of the night.
LOL. He's just joking. If anyone reads this, yeah, he's got people knocking on his door, right?
They're a little more frustrated on that stuff now. Like someone got caught fishing on the wrong side and got in trouble.
Yeah,
he like wandered across the middle of the lake or something. It's kind of weird, but
yeah. But he even said what happened. He got a little bit nasty. Like
did he?
You don't get mouthy when you're in that situation.
No, you don't get mouthy. You just get sorry, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
don't do it again,
telling
sir.
them they're wrong, and what are you gonna do?
Oh yeah. Then they're just like, well, I don't care what happened. You were over the line.
Like, buddy, what do you expect? I know this all sucks. Just trying to make you guys laugh. Well, you did, Adam. Thanks, buddy. On a serious note, maybe you guys should go video on YouTube and teach about eBay. You guys should go teach.
We've done that. We've been there.
Yeah. I guess maybe he's talking about because of the changes. You know what? I'm tired of YouTube too. I think there's so much content out there. Like it's just impossible to really get traction. Go get, and I'm not saying it's not possible. I don't want to put the effort into it for a hope and a prayer. Get the views, get paid that way. I understand. It's just there's a lot to it. I bet Scott's negotiating skills will play good on YouTube and draw in the views. But I need to be negotiating for something I can sell. But I've always thought about that, Adam. But my problem, and I've said this before, is I don't want the camera to influence the the negotiation.
Yeah.
And maybe subconsciously it would with me too, because I know, but I think for sure the buyer would be intimidated, and I think the negotiation, and I have thought about putting a hidden camera, but I just couldn't bring myself to that. I thought, nah, that's just not right. But I think the negotiation plays out because both people feel comfortable and it's private. I think once you start publicizing it, then it gets theatrical, and I don't want this guy to show anyone that he took one over on me. You know what I mean? Now it becomes a different thing. And a lot of times these people are negotiating stuff of a loved one that had passed on. So, like, you don't want emotions to go high on this situation. Like, I've never had anyone in a situation where they're very emotional, other than they might have they might have connection to one or two items, but I mean, it's not like an emotional thing. It's more of a nostalgic thing. But um, I just wouldn't want it to become that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's probably more in my head than reality, but I still just didn't feel comfortable doing that. And sometimes when I negotiate, like I'm negotiating for things that could be thousands of dollars, like the toy soldiers, like the
That was
flights,
a big one. Yeah.
the flight suits. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like those things actually were interesting. Like they didn't bring near the money, but one I could have negotiated fully because I was dealing with someone who was a friend who invited me to this pick because he was looking after the estate. He was the what do you call that? The
Executor.
executor, but with the books, right? That was an easy negotiation. Like I kind of had a price in mind, and he gave me a price, but it comes with a penalty. You got to take everything. You know,
Yeah.
you take the books, you got to take them all. Here's a flat price. You can't cherry pick because I want them out of here. So that wasn't really even a negotiation. It was more like thank you for that. You know, because
Mhm.
that was perfect. Um, but yeah, no, I have thought about that, but I just I don't know. I mean, I guess you go like negotiation for one or two items at a yard sale to me is nothing. Like it's either here's $5 for the most part. I mean, if you're there are different situations, but I'm saying for the most part, they've either got it priced or they just want to get rid of it or they want too much and I just turn around and walk away anyway.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Adam actually on this because I've asked you about negotiation techniques many times
Yeah.
because it's not something I've done a lot. And looking on YouTube, there's not a lot of things with people talking about it. Like when you go on
Yeah, but
YouTube and you search for negotiation, there often most of the videos are about real estate, which is a completely different thing.
but
And
is he talking about negotiation or filming the negotiation? Maybe I
negotiation
misunderstood.
skills.
He's like saying filming in live negotiation, isn't he?
Well, he's not saying. He's just saying, I bet Scott's negotiating skills would play good on YouTube. It could be live. It could be like when we
Like
role
real
play.
time as it's happening.
Yeah, it could be that, but it could be many things, right? Like I use ChatGPT to practice a bit.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot. Because for you, it's something you're good at and you've been doing it a long time, right?
I
But
mean the one that the one that I thought would have been like just thinking right now, one that I think would have been a good one because would have been the trains where I paid $2,000 for a bunch of trains. I had no clue of the trains, but there was so much volume there. I just felt that it had to be good. And I pretty much made my money back. Like I'm still a little bit shy on that because I just put it right straight into storage and I'm just getting to the stuff now. If you
yeah,
look at my last video on Instagram, I just put those trains in the booth, right? So I had to go through them. You got to go meticulously through them because there could be little things broken. Um, but anyways, back to the negotiation part of it. I think I paid a little bit of more than I should have, but it was still a fair price to both of us. Um, that might have been interesting because it went back and forth. It kind of went not really back and forth a lot like a tennis match, but it went into deep thought on both sides. You know what I mean? Like,
it's hard when you're talking big numbers like that. $2,000.
yeah,
That's
and you
a
have
lot.
to go through everything. Like, I need to see it all. Like, I need to see this then. And we stopped short because it was actually more than trains. They were from Germany. All the trains were German. Like they're Roco and Fleshman. Like those are higher end trains. Still didn't know much about them. But there was also wood carvings. There was an old clock. There was other things. I ended up getting some pipes thrown into the deal. I can show them to you, but they're wood carved. But that would have been a little bit interesting because it was so much stuff, and the house was so big. It was a maze. I even kind of got lost in the house a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, there was books. They were throwing all this stuff for sale at me, and some I didn't want, some I did want, some I forgot, some I'm like, So I ended up just focusing the deal on the trains with the option to come back for the wood carvings later on. But I ended up picking a banjo up at the end. I ended up picking up the pipes we're throwing in. There's a few other things that we're throwing in to sweeten the pot because I just said this is a lot of money and I don't know enough about what's here. But I got $350 for one locomotive. I got $550 on eBay for another locomotive. I got $200 on eBay for a locomotive. I got 80 and 60 and a couple for $100. I'm thinking there might been one that went for $150, $200 as well out of the booth. So I'm getting close after commissions and everything. I'm I don't know, $1,400, $1,500 back. But I have so much stuff left, right?
Yeah.
That might have been an interesting one because I would like to see how I look because there was so much going through my head. They had books, they had DVDs, they had VHS. Like we're going through this house.
My God.
Dude.
I get overwhelmed.
It was me. It was me, two girls, and I was still trying to figure out if this is the guy that owned the trains or he was helping out because they kept saying that he's gone into an old age home and it costs money, so they want to kind of recoup some of this before, because the house still isn't ready for sale. But they kept referring to him as someone to kind of, if he understood the trains and who made the pipes, and because it was a grandfather from way back, and I'm like,
it was very confusing. Yeah,
it was kind of confusing, dude.
Yeah,
right. And you're trying to think all this stuff at the same time, and all of a sudden it's like, where's the pole to bang my head against it? But I ended up just focusing down to the trains and a few odds and ends. Once I loaded those up, I grabbed a banjo. There's a couple other things. There was one train display. It was Rivarossi, which is Italian, I think it was. But it was on the set, and they said it was valued at like $15,000.
Yeah,
I'm not even close to that. I don't even know it, right?
Yeah.
So I left that, but they said, "Oh no, we're not expecting that." But then when I give them the $2,000 offer, they were kind of disappointed. I got some train in that deal. I also got some conductor hats from European, like Netherlands, Germany. I got a nice lantern. Though I think I sold one hat, but the other stuff hasn't sold yet. The lantern's still in the booth at $250, but it's a nice German lamp for an old train conductor.
And sometimes when you buy stuff, you get surprises either directions later. Like you bring the stuff home, you put it to the side, and then you start going through it, and you realize, where's the rest of this? Like, this piece is missing, or this guy said this works, and this is totally not close to working, or the opposite. I found like great stuff like mixed in, and it's like, I didn't know this was here. And
well,
like,
dude,
I need more.
And I overvalued the watches. They had watches in this shadow box hanging on the wall. And they were all like train conductor watches. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, she goes, "Well, what about these?" And I'm like, she goes, "Do you know what they're valued at?" And I said, "I don't know." I said, "I don't know." There was maybe 10 of them. And I said, "I don't know." I said, "Watches are very tricky." And I looked in the back. Nothing was made of gold or silver, but they looked really good. They were definitely had some age to them. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I spewed this out. Like, I just, maybe $100 a piece. I didn't want to steer them wrong, but I know some can be 500, 1,000, and some can be $50, right? And I don't know.
See, you know what I said in my head? $20 a watch.
Well, this is what she asked if they were valued at, right? But I don't want to look like I don't know. And I don't know if they know, so I don't want to come across as a liar. You know, I don't want to say they're valued at $20 a watch when she's asking me the value. And I said I would say about $100 a watch. I said, but I couldn't pay that. You know, if I was to buy them, I left them at the end of the day.
Okay.
So I took a picture of it, and I said, I'm going to find out. I'll talk to some watch people, see if I can find. And I was right on. They're about $100 a piece.
Okay.
But they wanted too much money, and I wasn't going to pay $100 a piece after buying the trains and everything else that was available. Like, I'm like, the last thing I want is these pocket watches right now.
It's so awkward too, because it's like, we're not appraisers.
Yeah, but I think it was a fair question. It might have just popped out. Like, I don't know. We were just kind of, dude, there
Mhm.
was so much stuff, bud.
I
Like,
know.
there was so much stuff. Like, every time like, you think you saw everything, and all of a sudden they'd open this door, they'd open this closet, and then they'd go
Oh,
down in the basement, and you think you saw it in the basement. And then there's this little walkway where you had to duck, and it was about 4 feet high ceiling, and they had stuff stuffed in there.
like it's overwhelming. Like, I've said before, it's like I'm always trying to learn the negotiation. I kind of learned also to say, well, how much do you want? Because sometimes it's a no-brainer. I found, like, I'm thinking of numbers in my head. How much is this worth? Value it, and then they say, oh, just $5. It's like, okay, for $5, I'm not even gonna. I don't care, right? Like, for this big pile of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's almost better to be ignorant sometimes.
Well, and here's the other thing. The guy that set me up with this had already gone through it and picked out his thing. He just isn't into trains. So
Yeah.
he set me up mainly because of the trains and the wood carvings, but they were bringing me through everything. And so I'm like, do I just do a one bulk offer and say I'll clean out the house for you in this offer,
Oof.
and think of that? And I'm like, well, I don't even know what's really here because it's already been touched. It's not like it's an untouched building. So maybe
No,
I'm
it's been
only
cherry
getting the
picked.
junk. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
that's the thing, right? Like,
I know the trains were good and the wood carvings were on the wall and they looked really nice, but I don't know. Again, there's wood carving that could be $1,000. It could be
yeah.
$50, and
Or it could be firewood, like.
like, dude, it just okay. We're rambling on here on a question, but that was an estate that really, as far as a negotiation, maybe to look back and have some video of it, it would have been fun, because I don't know if I made mistakes and missed, and I didn't make a mistake on what I bought. Maybe I paid higher than I like to, but I'm still gonna make money on this. But I just haven't dealt with it yet because it's in storage. But I'm also concerned of what I left behind and what I could have got it for. You know what I mean? Because I never
Mhm.
did call him back because we were in the process of moving. I had a storage unit. This train stuff went right to storage except for a few pieces.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's like,
so my mindset wasn't into, okay, I'm clearing a house out because we're about to move. Do I need another house to clear out at
no,
the same time too? Right?
it's so
Like,
much work.
it's
Like,
it just, yeah. So I don't know. I guess we're rambling on something here. We were kind of concerned of what we do. We have anything to talk about? Now we like
well,
these
like
questions.
someone from the booth actually contacted me, and they were cleaning out a house, and I wrote them back just saying, "Oh, I'm interested," and he said, "Well, I'll send you pictures." And I said, "The only thing is, I'm not an estate clearer right here, right? I don't want the furniture, for example. I don't want it." And he said that's fine, but he never got back to me. But I never pursued it either, like, because I just didn't care that much. But really, because you never know what you're getting into. Because the last thing I want is to they think I'm an evaluator. Like, I remember a friend of mine in Ottawa. He went to talk to this people out wherever, like an hour away, about this comic book collection. He went out there, and they asked what he thought he was worth, and he told them, and they said, "Hey, thanks for the evaluation," and didn't sell anything to him. You know.
Yeah, no, I had situation like that too. I talked about on the air here, and that's what they wanted me to do. And I said, no, I'm not into that. I said, if you're interested in selling stuff. And then they called me back later and they said, okay, we'd like to sell some stuff. And I kind of pulled out the good stuff. And then they like, what do I want to do for everything? I give them a price, and they said, okay, we'll get back to you. And I'm like,
That's why I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah, like, I'm not coming back again. You don't really have anything great. There's some stuff I would buy, but if you're going to go find out what it's worth and then
Yeah.
counter me, like, I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
Um, they had some planes and different things, but they were dusty and a couple were
Oh,
broken that I could see
yeah, that
quickly.
was that guy's house. Yeah, I remember this now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just never called them back. I don't
That's
even know if
one
they
where you said, "What do you think it's worth?" And you said you couldn't even pay me to take all this.
probably.
I think it was that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the husbands were laughing because the
yeah,
wife.
yeah, yeah. They were
Yeah.
laughing. Oh, yeah, yeah. Because that was. I know what you're talking about. They had some stuff in some cabinets, And the cabinets were actually not too bad, display cases, cabinets. But yeah, the crap in it was just, like dishes and,
Yeah.
crap like
Dishes. Yeah. Here's my plates from cracked
little
dishes. Yeah.
little trinkety things that,
trinkets. Yeah.
not my thing.
I'm trying to stay away from trinkets now if I can, unless it's something really interesting. They just sit.
All right, dude.
So Adam and Tina had a couple more comments, but I couldn't see them.
Oh,
Maybe you can see them.
Replies. Tina Mac, we'll bring back the bootleg days, snuggling our eBay orders. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not saying this out loud. I have a boat and all 20 minutes from the border. Oh, she's close to the border too.
Yeah.
Adam, when I lived in Maine about 35 years ago, they used to smuggle Canadian cigarettes across. Yes, I think they probably still do.
I still think they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except the other direction, I think.
I love the stories of the 20s, like during Prohibition, when the ice froze over, they would drive those old cars, and then sometimes they would break through the ice and sink and stuff like that. like
old bootleggers, yeah.
So, people
now
still
use drones. Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on over to the YouTube comments. Well, why don't you read Randy's first, and I'll read Chris's, sure. And then we'll because we'll discuss Chris's.
So Randy says, call Scott a Donnie Downer. Yeah, last week was pretty sad. I was listening to it. I was like, oh, but it is sad. So yeah, I don't blame you either. He says he doesn't blame you. Usually it's me stressing out, but this time it's you. Yes. I already
okay, refresh my memory. Was I stressing last week?
A little bit. You're a little bit down.
Well, what did I say though?
World's ending. eBay sucks.
I don't know if I said that, did I?
Well, I'm paraphrasing a little bit. It was bad, man. Like, not what you were saying was bad. It's just it is bad. It's like there's no cherry coating this, right? So
yeah. Well, it's life's a journey, dude. That's all. That's what I chalk it up to now. Is like life's a journey, and you just take the hits as they come. They're gonna happen. You're gonna get hits all your life, right? So you just got to move through it. It sucks. Don't get me wrong. It sucks. It's you're trying to build something, and it's like you're walking through mud that's shoulder deep, And
then we got hit by a meteorite.
And then all of a sudden somebody decided to pour cement on you. Like it's it is what it is. I'm still picking. I still got lots of stuff here. I could fill the booth for a year with the stuff I have and not buy another dime. Like not spend another dime on buying anything. But buying's the fun. That's the problem. I'll just figure out other options and go from there. Like, everybody goes to work. Like, why should I be different? You know what I mean? If that's what I got to do and have a job that I have to go to, then fine. That's fine. It's not what I want to do. It's not ideal because I enjoy this. But at the same time, there are, like I said earlier, there's other benefits to it too. Yeah. So I don't want to sound too down because I'm really not. I think I was maybe just kind of a little bit pissed, more than, just kind of like it's almost like this. If somebody that I know talks to me about how things are going, I usually just say, everything's good. It's fine. You don't get, but now I feel I need to explain to them what's happening, because if I'm back at work in a month or 3 weeks from now and I say it's good, now I look like a liar because it's not good if I'm going back to work. So and they don't know what's going on. They don't even know the word de minimis. So now I feel like I need to explain to them, because I don't want them to think I failed at what I was doing. I need to explain to them that the system has changed that prevents me from doing what I was doing. Yeah. And I feel I need to explain that to people. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's probably the hardest part, is because
people don't realize what a huge thing this was. This is not a pivoting thing. Right. People keep telling me to pivot. I'm going to tell them where to put that pivot if I get told one more time to pivot.
Well, I keep saying pivot, but I don't mean pivot to reselling. I mean, you got to pivot in life.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to find something else. You have to, you can deal with it still and enjoy it, but it's not going to be the same as what it was.
No, it's just
a
like I'm
different
trying to
thing.
emphasize, like, this is a big thing. This isn't like a minor bump.
Right.
This is like we hit the tree skiing down the hill.
Yeah.
And
I need to let people know that I just hit a tree.
Yeah.
And
the tree came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere, and it broke. I can't ski anymore.
Yes. One of the skis is broken.
I can slide down the hill on my back, but I can't ski. like they need to know that, because they're not going to, well, Scott, like 2 weeks ago I saw you and you said, fine, now you're going back to work. Like, what happened? So I need a narrative that they understand.
Yeah.
And I feel comfortable being face to face with them the next time I see them. And
and you have to decide, like, I come on here to bitch with you. I bitch with you offline. I bitch with Craig and Rick. I bitch with the people like sales at the market, right? Because they all understand what's going on, and they're all affected by it, right? And they understand a bit more about what's happening, right? But like with Amy's family, they'll ask me how it's going, and I'll say, "Oh, it's pretty bad," but I'm not going to go into details because, well, one, they don't really care that much, but number two, it's too hard to explain, right? Because
I try to explain it to save face a little bit, because I do feel, because everybody knows I've been putting a lot of energy in it, and I've always said it was good, and then all of a sudden I'm not doing it anymore, like overnight. Yeah. They need to understand what's happening. Yeah. Everybody knows about Trump's tariffs. So if you add that into the conversation,
that's what I do. Yeah.
They get it. They're like, that's affecting you.
Yeah.
The de minimis is something I briefly explained to them, but I think if without the word tariff, they're not going to understand it. Right. And I always follow up, like, listen, it's e-commerce. It's changed the world. And now it just happens to be when I'm doing this that they've changed the dynamics of it to get, I don't know, in front of it, to catch up to it. But now they're catching up to what e-commerce has become. And I can't blame them for that. It pisses me off, but I can't blame that for happening. I understand it. It sucks. It pisses me off. I can't express that enough. But I can kind of understand it. Right?
Yeah, I understand that viewpoint.
Well, okay, you've said it yourself that you understand it. You're like surprised that it was as high as it was. Like, you're surprised. I've said before, and you've said that it's unfair how we are at $20 and they're at $800.
I'm just saying they slammed on the brakes way too hard, right?
That's your opinion that it's way too hard. That doesn't mean they're wrong. It doesn't mean they're right. It's an opinion, right? So what would they have done? Well, they would have done something different to make you happy, but that doesn't mean it was in their best interest. I don't know what's in their best interest. I don't know if they know what's in their best interest. It's the option they took, right?
Yeah, they have a right to make that decision.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. And I understand why they changed it. Time will tell whether they were right or wrong, or if they went too hard or not. Like, for us, it feels like they went too hard. But they don't care about us. They care about their own people.
Yeah, and I think
whether it's right or wrong for their own people is going to be our opinion, but our opinion is going to be screwed on how it affected us. You know what I mean? Put it this way. If it affected us in a positive way, and they still did the same hardcore changes, they did a drastic change, but it was to our favor, we wouldn't be complaining, Carl. We'd be happy.
Oh, I'd be happy, yeah.
But it was still a hardcore drastic move or switch, which may have affected other people differently. What I'm saying is, time will tell whether it was the right move or not. But for us, it was the wrong move for us, but it wasn't a move with us in mind. It didn't care about us.
I agree with that.
Right. So the motive of what we do, I'm not going to not go to work because somebody else deserves that job. If I can go to work and get a job, I'm going to take that job. I'm not going to say, well, somebody else should have that job. Right? And I don't want, well, Scott, that's pretty hardcore. You should let other people have that job. Like, that's the dynamic of it. Simplified. No, I want that job, dude. I got to live too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's where I'm going with this. I don't like it. It pisses me off, Carl. I'll tell you straight up. I don't like it. None of us do. Ty will tell if it was the right move. They're going to tell us if it's the right time. We don't, or the right move. We're not going to know. We're going to always feel like it was a bad move because it affects us so hard.
And I think I don't want to, like, I'm not an economist, so I don't feel qualified, but I have a feeling we won't know for another 6 months to a year.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Why do we only have a $20 de minimis? Why is it not $800? Why do we have tariffs? Why do we have tariffs on things?
Well, okay. Well, you just talked about two different things now, right?
No, I'm asking two different things.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, the de minimis at $20, in my opinion, is too low. But that doesn't mean zero is better, right?
Okay, but why don't we have it at 800? I don't
800 I think would be too high.
I don't want your opinion.
Right.
I'm asking for, why is it only $20? Why don't we have a much higher de minimis? Why don't we have $200 de minimis?
I think because in Canada, politically,
okay.
Well,
yeah.
What else do you want me to say? Like,
no. Well, because I don't think it's a political thing. I think it's an economic thing.
Yeah, but that's also a political thing.
Is it?
Yeah, economics and politics go together.
Do they?
Like,
I
think they do.
I think the economics is dictated by the politics, but I also think that economics is its own thing. Like, I think we've had conservative and liberals in power, but the de minimis hasn't changed. Why didn't one change it over the other? Like, they both just kept it the same. So I'm saying in this case, I don't think politics was part of it, part of the Canadian side of things. I'm saying to you, why do we have such a low de minimis?
I think because they never changed it.
But
I think
why?
They never changed it with inflation, and it was way too low.
Well, I think it's there to protect Canadian businesses.
That's also true.
Okay. That's where I'm getting at. That's why I'm asking you. It's there to connect Canadian businesses.
Like in UK.
Why are they putting it in there? Well, in their mind, they're doing it for the same reason we have it. It's to protect their American businesses.
But it's also about paperwork, though. It's not just about the money. It's also about the effort it requires to actually enforce that.
In what way?
That if you have a higher de minimis, right, you don't have to do the paperwork on lower value items.
Okay. But you know the answer to that already. Twofold. One, technology, AI, is going to take a lot of that. But the second thing is,
we shall see.
The second thing is they did something smarter. They put the onus on the seller, the exporter.
Yeah, and look what a mess it's been.
Everything's a mess at one point. Everything starts as a mess, and you slowly clarify it. It's a mess because we want to see it as a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess because we are so hardly affected. We are affected so hard that we want to see this fail for them because we want them to feel the pain that we felt.
I understand. And before they wrote in the big beautiful bill that was going to be 2 years from now, this was going to happen, right?
They changed their mind, Carl.
Well, they changed their mind with not enough time for the systems to be in place to implement this change. It was impossible.
Whose system?
The postal systems throughout the world.
Except for theirs, because they don't need to worry about it.
Because no one else does that. They're the only ones doing that, as far as I know. I should be careful what I say because I don't actually know the whole world. Because, like I said, I'm not an expert
But
on this stuff.
but the whole world is affected because their economy is the one that keeps things running for us.
They're an important part of the world. I'm
Well,
not denying that.
obviously, they stopped
Like-
our exporting to them.
Like, if they don't want trade, right, they could just shut down the border.
I don't think that's what they said at all. If we don't want trade because our de minimis is at $20, well, should we just shut down the border? I mean,
never said that.
Well, that's sort of what you said. You're saying at them. Well, then
you're putting words in my mouth a little bit there, right?
Well, a little bit, but I'm just reversing. Anyways, I
don't know why we're going down. I don't even want to go down this route because it's a very emotional thing, and there's lots of different opinions, and I don't feel that I'm qualified to talk about.
Well, because I'm not sticking up for them. I'm just saying, because you challenged me when I said I understand it, and I'm explaining how I understand it and why I understand it. I don't like it though, Carl. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I know. No,
I don't even know if I'm agreeing with it. I'm saying time will tell whether they were right or wrong.
Well, that I agree with.
Who's gonna say they were right or wrong is them. I can't say whether they're right or wrong ever.
That's true.
It's them that's gonna say whether they were right or wrong. If they bring down their debt and do everything that they say they're gonna do with this, then they were right. If it doesn't, then they were wrong. So
yeah, but it's more than I'm not even go into it because it's such a can of worms. Like it'll be.
Well, I'm just trying to make sense of it in a way that if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, and we're the goose.
Yeah,
right.
The issue with this thing is it's like you said to me, it's not black and white. It's not a true false answer. It depends. And that and it's complicated.
Time will tell. But unfortunately, we're in the meat grinder right at this point.
Right? Oh no, for sure. And like all I want is things to be like you said before, eventually this is all going to be understood. The problem is when the ground isn't stable, it's very difficult to put your foundation down, right? And we can't until we're actually kind of sure what's actually going to happen because it could change. Again, we don't really know, right?
I don't think we're going back.
I don't think we're going back either.
I don't think we're going back at all.
I don't think so. No.
And the reason is because this will get sorted out. It'll probably take a year or two to get sorted out, completely. But I'm sure it's getting sorted out faster behind the scenes than we know. Just from listening to the Zonos guys. It seems like they got a handle on things and they're dealing with it. And there's going to be bumps in the road, but I think they have, a system that maybe evens that out a little bit. For us, it's not going to get better though. It's not going to change. They went down to zero. They're probably going to stay at zero. E-commerce e-commerce isn't going to go away overnight. That's for sure. It's not going to go away. It's probably going to go more in that direction, and they're preparing for that. So I think, you know what, Carl, this just popped in my head. So I'm gonna spew it out there, but I don't know. But I think we're gonna see a lot of changes that people are gonna be uncomfortable with. I think in the next 5 years, and if you listen to guys online, on YouTube talk about AI, I think maybe this is gonna be changed because of AI and how fast it's developing. Dude, I think we're gonna see changes not just in reselling, but across the board, manufacturing, everything. And AI is going to make other areas of people's lives, people that we don't even know about yet, like industries, businesses. AI is going to come through like a tornado, and we might be the beginnings of that and not even realize it. Like, does that make any sense to you? Because I'm spewing it out as I think about it. But I think we're getting for a hell of a storm, and where the pieces fall after this tornado runs through us called AI, I don't know what it's going to look like. But I think over the next 5 years, we're going to see other industries going through crazy, bonkers things. And could they have done this in America 5 years ago? Well, I agree with you when you say it's one guy sitting there dealing with all this crap with a pen and a paper. Well, that era is gone, and I'm kind of thinking AI might have something to do with that.
AI is very. I use it as a tool.
Me as well.
It has its benefits, but also has its limitations.
Right
And it's
now,
very
today it does,
it,
but tomorrow, and I
it's
mean
very
literally
hard. Well, let me finish. It's
tomorrow.
very hard to understand where it's going to end up because the more sophisticated stuff gets, the harder it is to do. Right? It's not you get near the limit with this sort of technology, and then the last 5 or 10% is extremely difficult. I'm not saying we're not going to get there. I'm just saying I don't know where we are on that line.
Well, I'm not talking
It's
about.
like when computers first came out, right? Like they did a lot of very great work at the beginning, but they still were held back by what they could handle and the costs and even the thoughts of how to do it. I think AI is kind of in the same boat, but
But the problem with AI, and I don't disagree with you, it's in the same boat. But the singularity aspect to it, where it took 25 years for the computer to go from A to B, but it might take overnight for AI to go from A to B to C to D to E to Z. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
So I think the faster it learns, the quicker it evolves. And it just gets to a point where literally it can evolve in seconds, maybe overnight, weeks. For us to evolve, we're going to be much slower, infrastructure, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not even going to like robots as police officers or anything like that. What I'm talking about is simple like writing scripts, making movies, doing like novels or doing aerodynamic on cars, or bringing in machinery that don't need people because it runs a line where it can correct itself and it doesn't need people doing things. Like the infrastructure is not there because the infrastructure is designed for people. But if they build a whole plant that's designed to be completely build a car with robots, like this is what I'm saying. Like I think in the next 5 years, the changes we see are going to be astronomical. Like cripes, they got rockets right now that can land back on Earth and land in a stand. Like where's that technology going in the next year or two? This is what I'm saying, and I'm kind of throwing a lot of situations out there, but I think right now in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see like the AI doesn't need that last 5% to keep track of orders and packages. I'm pretty sure it could probably do it now if it was trained to do that. The time that it takes to train it and to set up the infrastructure for that, that might be a year away. That might be here in 6 months. But the AI's ability to recognize these packages, to put the proper tariff or whatever on it, that's probably here, because that's kind of,
well,
that's probably simple stuff in the long run.
We'll see. Like it's so hard to predict where it's going to be that I'm not even going to speculate because I think it's really hard.
Dude,
the last
year ago, I had, this is free AI. Write me a song, write me some music, and have a male's voice sing it in a country style.
Oh, and that's great.
It did it in seconds. Dude.
But here's the thing. Is all that stuff going to sound exactly the same that whenever we use AI?
What does that
mean?
I don't know what you mean.
Things are like, because people right now say there's a flavor to AI. If someone uses it, you can almost hear it because of the way it talks, right?
Oh, I'm not really sure.
Or even with pictures, like when I look at people's thumbnails on YouTube, you can kind of know when they used AI. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying you can tell.
Yeah, because it's okay. Because it's a voice, you can hear it there. But it was damn good, and that was a year ago, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because a year before I had it do that, it couldn't do that.
I
And now
agree.
it can do it in 30 seconds. And that's a year ago. And a year from now, you might
Right.
not be able to distinguish it. I watched some AI, and now this is still available to the public. It's still available to the public, but you have to pay for it. But I see some AI clips that seem lifelike, like a movie, like realistic.
Yes.
Now you could still see it, but dude, it's to the untrained person or someone just kind of glimpsing at something, they might not see it. They might not be paying attention for it, and they just accept it for what it is thrown at them because they didn't look hard enough to see if it was AI. In a year or two, probably in a year, maybe even it's now, just an upgrade on that payment, and you get something that is so realistic you can't tell the difference. But that's how fast it is. We don't know if it's going to be a year from now or 3 months from now.
Or 20 years from now. Like, we
Well,
don't
I
know.
can guarantee you it's not going to be 20 years from now. I can guarantee that.
Hmm.
But it could be longer than a year from now, for sure. 20 years from now, dude, we might be living on Mars. I don't know.
It's like, fusion. It's already always 5 or 10 years away, right? Like, we'll see.
Well,
We'll see.
I think we lived in that life, and I think that life is gone. Because I think it's slow but fast at the same time, quickly approaching us.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
In
We'll
that
see.
in that things are going to get here quicker than we can ever imagine.
All I want is my self-driving car. Like, I can't even trust
Dude,
turning on my car now.
Dude, you got a self-driving car. What the
Yeah,
hell?
and I don't trust it.
But I haven't heard of an accident yet, except for somebody painted a tunnel on a wall and it drove into the wall.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. I don't even that stuff isn't really AI though. I'm just. But anyways, I don't. Should we do the other two comments because I want to get to the other two comments.
Two comments. I only see one more.
Well, okay. One to finish. Randy, he did a yard sale for our 160 plus.
Yeah.
And he got rid of a bunch of stuff with the free sign. And then he's saying he might have to do a flea market between now and Christmas. So, thank you, Randy.
Okay, so he's in the same line zone as I'm in, as far as like getting rid of getting just a yard sale, trying to get rid of some of the stuff that way. I'm going to do another one. I'll let you guys know how it goes next week. There is that option to go to some shows. I know that was brought to my attention. I mean, I was going to do it this year, but the move prevented me. But someone had kind of reinforced that. Like, don't forget you can do this, and there's different options. My only problem is a steady check. There's nothing better than that. So I think to go back to doing this part-time, it was doing well before eBay. It'll do well after. And just kind of have eBay look after some of the more higher end items. International shipping could be something interesting. I know you threw that out a few times, Carl, but I'm looking forward to seeing that. Like, it's going to be another option, but it ain't going to be a game changer. I think I made my mind up, and I think I know what direction I'm going. But I
think it's going to be a 20% or 30% boost at most, to be honest, but it's still good.
Yeah. I think it's what you're selling too, right? Like, I think what you're selling could be a lot to how that does. The biggest in my perception, you might disagree. The biggest thing about that international shipping is you ship it to a location in your own country and forget about it.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's huge. Like that adds another 5-10%.
Well, that's why I'm thinking the 20 or 30%. And the key thing is there's no extra work except for putting origin in. So
yeah.
And you don't know what they want in Europe. Like, if you're in Europe and they want that toy soldiers, Maybe they don't have access to that. I'm not saying they
Yeah,
don't.
they do. They do.
Well, okay, I was just using that as an
Yep.
example,
No,
right?
okay. Well, but I'm just saying.
And like we don't know what they want, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they were never able to buy it, and now they can, and you had no idea, and you don't have to worry about that because it's added on without you doing anything, you know. So
I don't know what country you can guess, but they definitely have a lot of Britons.
yeah,
They all presently come from Hong Kong, but they do have a lot of Britons. There's a lot of UK and a lot of France that has these soldiers.
yeah, that was just bad example.
No, it's a good example. I'm just kind of saying. I already looked, Carl, because I was thinking the same thing, right? And I'm like, damn. But they're very into the World War II stuff, the Napoleon, all that kind of stuff. They have a lot of that. They have I mean, you can imagine because that's where all that stuff happened, right? But they do a lot of, the red coat, blue coat, revolutionary American Revolution stuff.
Yeah, they're into their history.
Yeah.
You know?
So
just like the Voyager stuff is going to Quebec, right? They're into their history. So
yeah. And all the porn metal figures, where do you think that's going? It's going to Ottawa. That's going to Ottawa.
Ottawa, wow! I didn't know. I should. There's one. You know, those sell great, man.
I don't even know if they make them. I'm just kidding.
I totally bolo those. Yeah,
they're all on the back of your wall, Carl. I see them.
Hey, I would. Hey, right over there. I'd sell them. I don't care.
But. You know what I did? I did Google and I didn't. Sorry, eBay search, but I didn't go deep enough. I just kind of quickly seen if they're out there. But the like horror film things. Now I don't know if they have Friday the 13th or Halloween, like those characters. But they definitely have like Draculas and Frankensteins and mummies and stuff like that. So that would be something I would probably collect if they had metal figures, because they look so good, dude. They look realistic and you can set them up how you want. But I would really find it interesting if they had like pulp culture type figures made of metal.
So on Reddit, someone posted something like that for a toy figure of the Joker. It looked so good, dude. Like,
was it metal?
No, it was resin, but it wasn't resin. It was like plastic, but also real clothing, real materials, right?
Oh, okay. So like they're
photorealistic.
But it's somebody making them from their home.
No, well, it was a professional company.
Oh, it was a company. Okay.
But the details on these models are like it was a $1,700 toy.
Yeah.
US.
Yeah.
But all the clothing is actually handmade, you know, all the plastic, it looks like something that's real, right? All the way you can manipulate it, all the little tools and stuff like that. I can understand why someone would spend $1,700 on that toy model of the Joker, right? But doesn't mean I would, but I could totally understand, like, because the joke on Reddit is like, who would spend $1,700 on it? And everyone who said, oh, and then I looked at what it was, and now I understand why they were charging $1,700, right?
Because they're like handcrafted, right?
You're not going to get that anywhere else,
right?
If you're really into that, spend it. Like some people are into cars and they spend stupid amounts of money on that stuff, right? Like,
I remember seeing this before, so I'm kind of talking out of memory from a year or two ago or longer. But I know people do handcrafted stuff, and some of them are amazing talent, but it's more of a piece of art.
Yes.
And they'll, like, I don't know if it's clay or pottery, like probably not pottery, but I don't know if it's a clay or a resin that can be, while it's warm or in a certain state, it can be manipulated with tools. But they paint them and they dress them, like you said, and they make them so good and so realistic. But from what I understand, it's like you have to order it from like some guy doing it in his basement as an artist more than like a sculpturist or an artist than it is from a company. And that's why they're so expensive, because the people is doing it right like like an artist making a painting, as opposed to a machine crunching out 1,000 in a minute of a pressed, like they're just pressing down on metal and coming up with a sculpture.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it's what you're saying and it's what I'm picturing, that stuff is amazing, man. Like I just can't afford that. Like I don't know if I'd ever find, like, if I had $10 million in the bank or something, that's a different story. But
it's the sort of thing, if I bought it, I would tell my wife I spent 500 on. If I spent 2,000 on.
The problem is, Carl, once you have one, I guarantee you can't stop.
I know, right?
Because you're going to look at it and it needs a partner. And then it needs someone else. And then the next thing you know,
well, if you have the Joker, you need Batman.
The next thing you know, you're like this guy with this toy soldier collection.
Yeah.
That most of it is still in boxes. Yeah. You have a whole basement full.
That's the danger.
That's the danger.
But
for sure.
Yeah, we only live once.
So it's justifiable, is what you're
saying.
I
done it justifiable. Well, especially if I have that and I'm selling it, yeah.
Not just the $1,700, but the lie to your wife that you only spent $5. That's justifiable to you, Carl.
Supporting the economy. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway.
All right, but so we got Chris's treasure chest. Good to hear from Chris. I haven't talked to Chris for a long time. I haven't even read this, so I'm about to read it fresh. So I might stop and pause and comment on it. Just to give the listeners a bit of perspective, a couple years ago, we kind of pivoted. Chris got really busy. His son went to university and stuff. I won't go too much detail, but before that, he was partner in crime as far as us doing a live YouTube show.
Yeah.
And basically we talked about every Sunday we would get on the air for a couple hours and talk about things that we had picked that week and talk a little bit about reselling. So Chris still has a YouTube channel, Chris Treasure Chest, obviously. So you can go check out his channel. He did some, the last couple of videos I've seen, I don't know if there's anything since maybe a couple of weeks ago, but he was talking about what's taking place with the de minimis and the changes and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
So do you want me to just read it now, or do you have a comment?
No, check his channel. I was watching the latest one, and he was talking about, he's stopped sales to the United States right now, just waiting for things to see how they're going to go as well.
Okay.
So, but check out his channel.
Have you read the comment yet?
Yeah, I have, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm about to get into it for the first time. I haven't read anyone's comments until today. So anyway, Chris Treasure Chest. Hey boys, tough times. Yep. If you are an online seller and your main buyer base is in the US, you will be done for a while.
Yep.
Definitely selling to the US. I'm going to stop here for a second because I don't know if the international shipping will help with sales to the US. Obviously, they're going to be paying a lot more, so that's going to still affect the sales. But will that international shipping now include the US and they just look after everything? That's a question, Carl.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. That's what I figured. So there still might be some sales there. Like, I mean, it's obviously depending on what you're selling and the desirability and how much is out there, and your price range might drop. So, and I'm thinking this as we speak, so I could say something wrong. But if it's worth 100 and you paid $5 for it, maybe you drop it down to 60 or 50 just to entice that buyer. You're still making money. I mean, obviously the profit hit is quite hard compared to what you're used to, but what do you think on that, Carl? Possibility or okay, here's the problem. Can we set separate prices? Here's for international prices and here's for Canadian prices. For instance, maybe I still want to sell it to Canada for 150 because they don't have to deal with extra crap. But to entice those international buyers, can I set the price differently? I
The
know we
only
can ship
thing,
shipping differently, but can we set the price differently? And not
no,
now, but is that an option maybe eBay gives us?
no, but what you could do is change the shipping cost to Canadians and make that higher.
Well, I don't because the shipping really affects your sales in my mind. I could be wrong. So if you increase like to $50 and then drop your price to $50 and add free shipping to other places, I think you're going to stop any Canadian buyers because they're not going to pay $50 shipping.
Well, I guess it depends on what your price is.
I don't know if it will depend. I think they get all excited because they see a $50 item that they need to pay $100 for, and all of a sudden it's $50 shipping, and it's going from Ottawa to Kingston.
I guess it depends who it is. It's like when I look for things on eBay, I list by price plus shipping. So it orders it by the combo.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just hoping maybe we have an option to set international rates differently than Canadian rates.
Well, you asked how you would do that, and it's like I don't think you can put a different price, but like I said, you could change the shipping cost to
Yeah,
effectively do what you're talking
I
about.
yeah. What I was asking was that option's not there for us to do that.
Not on the price end, no.
Right. Okay. As for auctions, Scotty is a regional thing, and it always the same buyers. Uh,
You're talking about selling at auctions, like your local auctions.
no,
there?
for sure. It's definitely it's definitely sort of regional. I mean, they do shippings. They ship a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
My problem with the auction was they just didn't realize about the de minimis as quickly as we did because we're getting notification from eBay.
It's
So
funny, eh?
my concern with the auctions is because I know they sent a lot of stuff to the U.S. A lot of on it's high bid auctions online that think he's talking about. That's what I was talking about, and that's open to the world. Like anybody can bid on them, and I know they get a lot of. So, for instance, when I got all those VHS tapes, the person was from the U.S.
Yeah.
And we went to was it $400 or $600 now for all those VHS tapes?
Yeah,
and
you're
I
talking about it.
backed out.
Yeah.
And I backed out. And then all of a sudden, it dropped down to 50, and I got a phone call from the auction place. And they
did you back out or did you lose the bid?
I lost the bid.
Yes.
And I conceded to their higher bid.
Yes. Okay. Because that's important. Because you didn't back out. You just lost the auction.
Well, I stopped bidding. I didn't feel.
Oh, I see what you mean by back out. When you said back out, I thought you meant you reneged.
No.
But
I stopped bidding, and
yeah.
he took the next high bid, and I didn't want to pay any more than I was paying. But we
Yeah.
were already at $400 or $600 for the large lot of VHS. And then it dropped down to 50. It blinked, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then I got a call. It was the auction place, and they said that we're going to get back to you. You probably got it for $50. We got to see how we have to deal with this. But she goes, I canceled his order because he was from like Chicago, like Illinois, like he was really far away. And she goes, he's not going to come and get these VHS tapes.
Yeah, he was a problem buyer from before. They had previous experience with him, if I remember correctly.
But if we were at like $400-$600 and he stopped bidding before me, they were fine with that because they know I was a Canadian. So they just bumped up. So they weren't going to stop him.
Oh, I see.
Until it happened the way it did.
That's horrible. But yeah,
because he's just jacking me up, right? So she said we have to bring him back down to where he started bidding, which puts you at $50.
I'm not sure what I think of all that. But anyway,
what's that?
I think it's great for you. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, well I sold one of those tapes for $400, man.
If I was the seller of those tapes, and I saw it went up to 400, and
they don't care. They don't care.
The seller doesn't care?
Well, the seller might care, but the auction house has the final say in everything. And if they're saying this guy's not going to, he bid it there, but he's not going to pick it up, he can cancel the order. Like They're saying all they have to do is give whatever example they want. This guy was a problem seller. unfortunately, he was just jacking the price up. It happens very rarely, but in this case, it was one of them, and we had to stop him because he was interfering.
I guess
Like,
if I was the seller, I'd say then rerun it in the next auction.
there is no next auction; it's an estate auction.
Oh, it's an estate. That's a very difficult situation because I'd be like, how do I know Scotty didn't find his some guy in the United States?
Why would I have some guy in the United States jacking me around with a higher
this exact scenario?
Dude, I went is Scotty the guy bidding? Is it me, or are you saying some other Scotty that just wanted to jack the price up, make me pay more? Like, what do you mean by that?
I mean,
I'm not going to have some guy jack me up and then quit. Like, why would I have quit? The scenario wouldn't make sense. Why would I quit? If I wanted to jack myself up with a higher price, I would just be the last one to quit. I would say, okay, that's you've made me pay enough, bud. I'll do the next bid.
Well,
I don't know what you mean.
Well, okay, because you're cooperating, right? This is a scam, right? So I'm telling you the scenario.
Okay.
So you get your friend. Let's not call him Scott. Let's call him Carl in the United States, right?
Yeah.
And he said, "This is a great lot up here. Okay,
Yeah.
You and I are going to bid back and forth, right?
Right.
We're going to get it up to 400, right?
Right.
Carl, you make the last bid.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, you won it, but now pull out. You're not going to pay the 400, right?
Right.
And now the auction house drops it all the way down to 50. And Scott, you go in and buy it at 50.
The auction house didn't drop it to 50. They dropped it to the first point where that buyer, that fictitious
That's fine.
buyer,
Yeah,
started.
that's fine. But what you've done,
so all that
in this
work,
scenario, let's say we started at the $50, right? You're like, if you wanted this auction, this lot of VHS for $50,
so
you'd be
me
very
and
happy,
Betty,
right?
me and Betty bid it up to $50, and then Tommy comes in, or Carl, comes in, someone I know, and we have this little scam.
Yeah.
Who's getting scammed?
The seller of the VHS tapes. Because so for the beginning it was you and Betty, right?
Dude, I don't know if we need to go down this hole. This is you're wrong.
Well, but I explained to you how the scam works, right?
Well, okay, where does the scam come in?
Well, you have to let me finish.
Okay.
So you and Betty are bid it up to 50, right?
Yeah.
And you're still happy getting it at 50, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want it to go any higher. So you get me involved, right? We bid it up. Bam, 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 right? It goes up to 400. Betty is long gone. Betty has no interest at this at $400, right?
Yeah.
You have no interest at this at $400.
She didn't bid at $200. She didn't bid at $100.
She bid up to 50, right? You and Betty went to 50, right? You bring in me. You and I are bidding. We're scaring Betty off. Betty doesn't even look at the lot anymore because it's gone way past her price.
Right? I don't know, dude. I think that's a lot of work for VHS tapes. I mean, if you're totally do that on gold rings and stuff, I don't know, but okay. I guess I can kind of understand it. I just think it's a lot of work, and it's not like we're running this scam all the time. It's like
you have to be picky on it because you can only burn me once, right? Like, as Carl, I
don't know.
That's how it work, right?
Okay.
So it happens. I can guarantee it.
Okay.
But not that.
But there's no guarantee that the auction place was going to stop the bid. Like, that surprised me. Like, I expected me to lose that bid.
Well, that's why I said I'm surprised the auction house is stuck in a hard position because they were just doing it in the state, right? It's not like they had a warehouse they were selling the stuff out of, I assume. No, so they had all these tapes.
It was at the house.
At the house. That's why they're kind of stuck.
Yeah, they got to get rid of it.
Yeah,
I mean, they got $50 for some VHS tapes that they hadn't. They probably would have thrown out otherwise.
I'm just saying, if I was the owner of the estate, I'd be upset. But whatever.
Oh.
Why were we talking about this? I can't remember.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll get back to Chris's comment here.
Right. Okay.
I'm sure he's sleeping now. Like, what are you guys talking about? Yeah. So I guess what I was saying here is they do ship the stuff out. I know that for sure. Do they have money 100%? As do sellers online. do they have money? 100%, as do sellers online. But for the buyer online, they will not pay 30, 40% in tariffs and duties. I agree. I agree. And I think that affects both auctions and eBay.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, and Chris will know this. I don't know if he's going to listen to our talking, so I'll talk like he is listening. We're going to have him on. We'll have to figure out the next week or two. We'll have to figure out his schedule and stuff. Carl, you said he wants to be a guest. You said,
well, yeah, at the end.
Guest. Okay, so I read that at the end. So we'll have him on and we can discuss this further. But I mean, there's some things that I've sold to Japan, Spain, China. But what they did is they went to a shipping company in the U.S. because I don't ship to those countries.
Yeah.
So they'd have a middle person.
Yeah.
And I would ship it to that location, and then from there it would go to those other countries. And I think that's what international shipping is. So there might be the odd thing. I guarantee, I agree with Chris here. Like, for the most part, people aren't going to spend that. But the international shipping, there will be some sales. 2 different markets. I have resellers in Canada that are sending me message online that their main source of income, and they are now losing money every month. Well, I'd be one of them. I'm not losing money. I mean, I still have the booth. I had some sales. Like, this week has been slow. I did a yard sale. I mean, there's different ways to make some money to have it coming in, but I can understand it. If they're losing money every month, can't pay the bills, and are behind rent, mortgage payments, well, they need to do what I'm about to do, and that's going to go back to work at a factory, or, there's jobs out there. It's going to get a lot less, though. I think there's some pain coming, and I think, and maybe this is a discussion we don't want to get into because we already talked about a little bit, but I think AI is going to play a big factor on a lot of this kind of stuff too. Like, I think there's also going to be new opportunities and new jobs come out of it too. So it's hard to say exactly what it's going to look like, but I think there's a lot of things that's going to come out of this. They do not have access to auctions or other means to sell. eBay will feel this is at the end of the year. I think eBay might be feeling it now. Maybe not quite to the extent that they will at the end of the year, but I think there's a lot of people jumping ship now. What do you think, Carl, on that?
Oh, yeah. I think this is going to really affect eBay.
Yeah, because I think if I just look at my store alone, I can't imagine what it looks like throughout Canada, throughout Europe, throughout the world. Yeah.
Right? Like, no, this is really, like, eBay is probably one of the most effective ones, because a lot of their sellers are people like us who were selling under the $800, right?
It's like this dome went over the US, and you could throw these items at the dome, but it's not going to penetrate. It's going to, like, none of these items can get in without a certain, it needs some special attention.
Yeah, like a speedboat or a submarine.
To be accepted. You know what I mean?
Go under the dome.
So, eBay will feel this at the end of the year, especially for sure. Once they talk about this quarter, so they're going to be hit for sure. If you ever need a guess, let me know. Private message me, PM me. I have a new number. Oh, he's got a new number. Oh. Well, I don't, Chris, so you can call my number or text me, and then I'll know your number. Any comments to any of that, Chris? Like, I agree with him. Or, sorry, Carl, I agree with what Chris is saying here.
Oh yeah, I agree with all that.
I don't see anything that I can add to it.
No.
For the most part, that I haven't already talked about. I think if you need some money, 2 things. You can throw it in an auction, but not only, like, you got to be very careful. You kind of have to, like, we all kind of probably know auctions on the buying end of it because we like to get it cheap. But you got to watch what you put in an auction too. Like, I'm very specific what I put in there. If you put in something that gets a $2 bid, sure, you get rid of it, but it's probably costing you $3 to $4 just to have them listed, because they charge $2 for the listing, and there could be some photo charges in there, so there's a percentage. So if you sell it for $2 right off the bat, they're going to take 30%. So that's 60 cents on a $2 bid. So you need stuff that's going to at least, and you can't never guarantee, but you have to feel that you're going to at least get $20 just to kind of make it worth it.
Yeah,
right? Because on a $20 sale, they're taking the 30%. So on a $20 sale, they're going to probably take about $3 just for listing the item. So let's say that's $3. They're also taking on the $20 sale 30%. So that's $6. So already on a $20 sale, they're taking $9. You're left with 11. If you paid $5 for that, you make $6. You know what I'm saying?
Gas taking it there. Yeah.
Well, okay, but you're going to take multiple items. Don't just take one item.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that I think that's kind of, I mean, you can almost say $30. Like, it always seems to be that when I talk, but at least $20. You got, like, you at least want to take $20. If you don't think your item's going to, so now you got to say, okay, well, what kind of items? Well, you can search past history of that auction place, and you can kind of see what kind of money they get for stuff. Would I put it on something like, what's that one you use?
Max Bid.
Or
Max Sold, I can't remember.
Max Sold. Yeah, Max Sold it is. That's something you want to maybe sell, buy stuff from, but I don't know if you'd want to sell it, because they don't really care, and I think they're very expensive. I think they're even more expensive than that. But go to some nearby, within an hour, within half an hour, you'll be able to find an auction place that does things online. So I would do anything that you pretty skeptical that you're going to get $20 for, maybe even bump it to 30, because you might get 20 on a $30 thing. And don't necessarily go with what it's valued at. Kind of go with what you think it'll sell for, because what it's valued at could be totally different, right? You just say, if I was a reseller, or if I like this, and if I was in an auction knowing that they have to pay expenses too, where would I go with, like, how far would I go with this?
Yeah.
Right? Like, if it's a little glass figurine, you're probably going to get $3 to $5 for it.
If you're lucky.
You might get 10. That's still not enough. But if you have some nice train stuff, or you have some Legos, like, those things will probably fetch close, if not what they're kind of going to go for online.
It's risky. Sometimes you see things going for higher than retail.
Yeah.
So,
but it is a place to dump some of that stuff. And the other thing is to have a yard sale. Like, do it quickly, because once the cold weather gets here, you're not going to get it. But if you can have a massive yard sale, there's still people out there buying. There's still out, I find the old stuff goes because there are a lot of antique guys, all right? But Legos, collectibles, they'll still buy that stuff. I think your Chinese-made mixers might be a little harder, but maybe not. I don't know. That's not really what I'm into. So I don't know if they would go for good money at a yard sale. But I see that all the time. It's the collectible, the old antiques. I'm kind of rambling on, but that's kind of my perspective on, auctions can be good, but you have to know what you're doing. You have to be careful, right? Because
it's more variance in what you're doing.
And how much is out there? Like, you don't want to put your die-cast car that's worth $50 or $80 or even $100 into an auction where there's 100 die-cast cars being auctioned off.
Yeah, because
it's good in one way, because there's a lot of maybe die-cast collectors coming to that. But if you have the run-of-the-mill $50 die-cast, the whole auction is going to be that. They're not going to care. Unless it's crisp in a box, then maybe that makes a difference. But just to have a loose one or a damaged box. But if you have one in an auction, somebody might come along and buy it. especially if it's a nicer one. Then you can put, if it's $100 or $150 one, and you really tell the auction guys how to explain this car, you might get that in a auction where there's 100 of them being listed, because it kind of stands out. But right, like, but for the most part, if you got like just a run-of-the-mill NASCAR diecast car,
Yeah.
you're lucky to get $10 for it, to be honest.
And if it's a live/online one, hope your lots aren't at the end of the auction when everyone's like left.
Um,
Because usually the best deals are
Max
at the end.
sold, I would say that it all depends, dude. Like, it's so hard. Like, dude, I'll show you an auction that I use. Off the air, I'll show you, and you can skip through it and see. Like, I got $150 for an electric guitar.
Yeah.
I took it, wanted $100 from a musical place that sells instruments. They wouldn't even give it to me. They didn't even want it. They didn't. I got so many guitars, but I don't want another guitar.
Yeah.
Come back in a month, maybe. That's the answer I was given. I go put it in the auction, $150 for it. I paid $80 for that and an amp at a yard sale, so I made money on it.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm going to put the amp into the next time I go and drop stuff off. So it's good, but you got to be careful. Sometimes the option is just to recoup your money, put it in a yard sale, maybe even get a few extra bucks for it, and you have to move on. I don't know. I'm just telling you my experience. That's all.
Yeah. You're saying how you feel about that.
But
like, I agree with you.
Like, if I take these toy soldiers into an auction, I'm going to probably get 25% of what they're actually sellable on eBay.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to get the full amount.
I would never go to garage sales, buy stuff for auctions only. It'd be too risky. I don't think it would work. Unless you're buying high-end stuff, right? Like, because I do know someone in Ottawa who buys stuff and he puts it all into auction, but he's not buying $20 things. He's buying $200, $300, $400 things. So,
but if I was to take these toy soldiers and do that and spread them out over a couple of auctions, I got nothing in them now. I've already made my money back. It's just free money to me. So is that an option? Maybe, right? If I get 25% of what they're worth, I mean, again, they're going to take commission out of that.
Yeah.
But if they sell for 25% of what they're worth, it's free money because I've already made my money back, right? And I can move on. I'm not going to do that because I'm still going to try to put them on eBay. They're still Canadian buyers, and I have an antique booth that they sell out of there as well. Some of them I can still get, $30 worth, and they sell for $35, $40 online. Some of them that sell for $100, I get $50, $40 for those out of the booth. So I don't really put the higher end ones in the booth because there's kind of a limit to what people will pay for these things out of there. Yeah. But I still sell them. So I'm going to go that route with them after I do, I think I've exhausted what they'll sell for on eBay.
Yeah.
I'll put them in the booth. Again, though, I'm paying 25-30% of the booth. By the time you factor in your commission of 13% plus your rent, figure that out from your monthly income, they're taking 25-30%. And if it's a bad month, that rent never fluctuates. So when you add that in, if it's a bad month at the booth, you could be paying 50% commission. You know what I mean? Or more.
100%.
Well, if you're that bad, I've never had that even close. But I'm just saying, it's not an easy decision. Rent. I'm agreeing with Chris here.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for everybody for sure. But there's a lot of variables that now take play where if you looked at eBay, you didn't have to be concerned with those. You know what I mean? So it's tricky. It's tough. If people are in tough positions, like, it's really affected them. And I know people are going to get mad at me because of what I said earlier. I'm just trying to look at it through different eyes. I love the Americans. We've had a lot of them, like Harry and stuff, come on the show over the years, and it's. I could sit here and name names, but they've all been nice. They're all good resellers. They're good people. I'm not putting down. I don't want to, like, they might be ecstatic because their sales are going to go through the roof. I'm good for them. Like, happy for them. Like I'm not putting anything down. I'm just saying we got to look at it from both perspectives. We have to, as you don't like the word pivot, but
pivot
you have to change. You can't put, what's the saying? You can't put a square peg in a round hole. That hole just went squared to us, dude, or
wasn't that good then?
Or round, and we had the square peg. So it just they rounded it out, so now it doesn't fit. We have to find something else, man. That's all I'm saying as far as a pivot is concerned. But anyway, I'm rambling on. We got 2 hours and 20 minutes. We didn't even know what we're going to talk about. Now we're even long. It's one of our long shows, Carl. But thanks, Chris, for coming on here.
Yeah,
leaving your comment, and
we'll figure
give
that
me
out.
a text and let me know. I'll reply here and say the same thing. But if you listen to the show, give me a text. I don't know your new number, but I'm sure you have mine, and we'll figure something out. We'll figure it out somehow, for sure.
Yep, for sure.
Any last words, Carl, just to fill in the next hour?
No.
Okay. All right.
It's gonna be an interesting one to listen back to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to the next one now. I was all depressed or something. I don't know if I was that depressed. Well,
it's just more like realistic of what is actually happening, right? So
yeah, I might be. I might be a little bit perturbed. I'm still perturbed. Like,
I'm perturbed. I'm very perturbed.
I'm perturbed. I'm pissed at that it had to happen. Yeah. Maybe not so much why or that it did for their sakes. I'm kind of like frustrated and pissed that, damn it, man, like, why did this have to happen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I still love the guys. I love the Americans that came onto the show. Like,
it's not about the Americans. It's not about that at all. Yeah. It's like, I don't.
Swamp Picker. Remember Swamp Picker?
I see him. I see Glenn. Yeah. Glenn I see on the other channels and stuff.
Oh, I don't even go on the other shows anymore. I haven't since we closed it. So
I saw Tommy has a new channel.
Really?
Yeah. It has nothing to do with reselling at all.
What's he doing now? Let me guess. Because I remember him talking on his show that he really liked the live, like the crime shows.
Oh, good for you. Yes.
Was it on crime? Is it really?
Stuff. He has court stuff. Yeah.
Court stuff. Okay. He really liked the crime aspect.
It's working for him. We'll discuss it offline.
For sure.
Let's discuss it offline because
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. I think it was true crime is the word he used. True crime. But anyway, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Nice. See, you pivot, right? Like, his show wasn't working. The guy was one of the smartest resellers as far as what his knowledge was crazy. I always felt, but
he was entertaining, right?
Yeah.
And he talked business, and he's a shoe guy.
And clothes too. I think he did clothes.
Yeah, probably clothes too, hats maybe, but shoes was what he often talked about. So
and he did really well. And he was on Craigslist Hunter a lot as far as comments, and he was friends with.
He was big in the community, but
yeah. Well, that's good. I'm gonna go. I want to watch his show now.
We'll talk about it offline
for sure. Okay. While we're in there, I gotta know. I can't wait.
Then end it, and then I can tell you.
All right, Carl. Have a good week.
Yeah,
sell lots, buy lots.
Ship this damn train. That's the next step.
Train.
Yep.
Nice. All right, everyone. Have a good week. Chris, we'll get in contact. Thanks for all the comments, everyone, and have a good week. Have a good week, Carl.
You too. Bye, everyone.